and gentlemen, and welcome to Art Keller Field and Carthage College.
Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for NCAA Division III football as the visiting Pios of Carroll University coming to Carthage to take on the Firebirds off the lakeshore of Kenosha, Wisconsin. Hello everybody, alongside my broadcast colleague this afternoon, Shawn Sierra. I'm Peter Ferreri. Shawn, such a pleasure to be with you in the booth this afternoon. It is a rivalry game, and I know you have partaken in those before. Talk to me through what's it like to have such a meaningful contest in the middle of the season, kind of throw those records out the window.
Yeah, when you have a rivalry game, you do just that. You throw the records out the window because of the animosity between them, depending on how long the rivalry is. If it's 50 years, 75 years, 100 years, it's deeper. And it's the players, it's the administrations. It travels deep into the school, not just the football program. It's usually woven into the fabric of the administration.
Let's talk through some of the standings right now in the CCIW. North Central leads the way, 6-0 in conference play, 7-0 overall. The CCIW only doing one non-conference game leading into the season. You see Carthage at that 1-5 overall. Carroll just a skosh above at 3-3. So such an important game for Carthage, especially to get back into the mix, and for Carroll to keep their momentum going.
Yeah, Carroll needs. They're trying to get. They're trying to get to the top spot, and North Central is the standard here, and so they're trying to reach that. And let me tell you something. Carthage they just have to stop shooting themselves in the foot.
Yep.
And if they can do that, they have a good chance to win today.
Let me ask you this question again. One thing both coaches really stressed about was special teams. You have, of course, played special teams yourself, whether it's kicking, kick return, whether it's field goals, whether it's extra points. Such a point of contention for both these squads. Both teams have very strong kick return teams as well. Talk to me through what's going to have to happen for both teams to have that advantage of special teams.
Well, special teams, that's the hidden yardage in games. Okay, and if you have a good kickoff team, punting team, all right, those are the yards you gain. That's how you flip the field. All right, you get good field, you pin the other teammate, and they start inside the 20, inside the 10 maybe if it's a punt. And it's a lot more difficult to score when you got to go 85, 90 yards. Conversely, if you have a good kick return or punt return team, and you're starting at least the 35 or 40 or God forbid the 50 or into plus territory, it's a lot easier to score because your playbook is wide open. And psychologically, it does a number on the opposing team when their defense is starting at the 50 or in their own territory.
Both teams about to take the field. The Pios starting off. Talking about as well, third down. That's something you and I discussed while prepping for today's game. It's been an issue. There's no easy way to sugarcoat it. Trying to find more conversion rate. Carthage, for example, there could be 2, 3, 4 series in a row where they go 3 and out, and then all of a sudden it starts to click. But those early down and distance, those early 3 and outs, they got to try to fix it up. If we look at some of their offensive stats of the year leading into today's game, sacks allowed right now 5. That's first in the conference. So they're really good on the offensive line in terms of preventing their quarterback. Bryce Lowe should get the start today. But looking at the rest of the numbers, anything stand out to you in particular?
Yeah, they're down. They're down for their 7th. And one of the things you got to do, you don't deal with third down on third down. You deal with it on first and second. You got to stay ahead of the stick. So what they need to do is they need to get a good 3 or 4 yards first down to make it a second and manageable. 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. Okay, and if you get another 2 or 3, now it's 3rd and 3 and 3rd and manageable, and your entire playbook is open. If they're in 3rd and medium and 3rd and long most of the day, it's gonna be a long day because now the defense knows you have to pass, and now they're gonna dial up some crazy blitzes, and that's where all the problems come in.
Let's go to the defensive side of where these things line up. One thing that head coach Budashevsky said, we have to key in and eye DeVito each and every play. So we're going to take a timeout now. When we come back, we'll dive in more about the defensive lineup and where things are going to be. Carthage, Carroll coming your way after the national anthem.
to midfield for the coin toss.
Introduce yourself. Gentlemen, here's the coin. Tails. Heads. Tails. Carroll, please call out the white. Tails is the call. Here's the heads. Carthage, you win the toss. Carthage, good the first and second half. You guys want the ball? Which way you want to kick? Put your backs. Carroll is going to receive at the scoreboard. Come together, guys. Have a great game.
Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Alongside Shawn Sierra, I'm Peter Ferreri. Shawn, we left off talking about the defensive alignment for this Firebird squad. We'll get the starters in just a moment. Chris DeVito, a player that they have, Carroll being really had to eye and say, we have to stop him. You being a former running back yourself, what is it like setting up for a game, prepping for a game, knowing their middle linebacker on the opposing side is one of the best in the conference?
It means he's got to be accounted for in every play. He can't be, you can't make a mistake. You can't, there has to be no miscommunication, because if not, he's going to be making plays all day long. This guy flies around, and he's very active. And if you don't get a body on him, he's going to end up in double-digit tackles by the end of the game.
And Kevich kicks it off, and we're underway, sends that one back into the end zone. And not necessarily ready for that was pure power. And Kevich, known for the power, punter, kickoff specialist, and also has picked up some of the kicking duties. As Carroll approaches, they are in the white jerseys with orange pants, orange numbers, and looking through their starters. Number 9 getting the start, none other than Josh Raby. Josh out of Dubuque, a Dundee Crown product, is one of the leaders in all the conference. Career high marks coming up. He's about to overtake some of the stuff. Also, Mikey Coleman Miller is going to be helping out on the offensive side. Shotgun formation, trips left, quick out to the left side, shoestring catch, stepping out of bounds, and that is going to be enough for a first down on the first play.
Yeah, if they get this quick game going, Carthage is going to have some problems. They may need to suppress or not give as much cushion to start off the game.
Lining up defensively, Cox, Hughes, Levy, Gutierrez Jr., and, of course, DeVito. We talked about Warner going to get the start in this nickel package, so a lighter front or lighter back 7 to start things off. Handoff off the middle, off the shotgun formation, and the defensive line stands tall. Carthage wearing their all reds today with white numbers and letters and black trim, so nice second play. If you're a fan of Carthage, kind of stopped the running game, and that was kind of something that both teams discussed. The battle of the trenches. Carthage knew they had a bit of an advantage on the line. Carroll knows that as well, so Carroll knows they might have to take advantage in the air game. And, of course, on the flip side, Coach Haas said we have to stop them through the air. Quick slant pattern. Good job diving back, able to get some paws on it. Was none other than number 8, the wide receiver, Youth.
It seems like Carthage is giving a little too much cushion. And we talked about it before. If you let this quarterback have time, he's going to pick you apart.
There are the Muth brothers today. Of course, number 4, Sammy Muth, and number 8, J.R. Muth. Looking off to the side, third down and a long 4. Look for the blitz. Deciding to do the handoff, stuffed at the line, and a swarm of Firebirds take down the running back. Nowhere to go, and that will be 4th down, which will likely cause a punt.
It looked good. They showed a lot of pressure, still trying to confuse the quarterback, trying to confuse Josh Raby. They went with a draw to Marcus Johnson, but the Carthage defense was right on it, stopped them, forced a punt. Now hopefully they can get the ball rolling once they get it.
Marcus Johnson was in the game, so We did hear from some of the Carthage staff that Johnson to get more reps in the running back position, so a bit of a rotation, almost a block on the near side. That, I don't know if it was touched or just a complete shank out of bounds.
It looked like it was a shank on that one.
But yeah,
I think he wants that one back, Peter.
Noah Streveler, the 6'3 junior out of Stevens Point, that went off the side of the foot. Maybe he felt that rush coming, but very good field position. And that's something you and I talked about pregame, Shawn,
right.
is Carthage needs good field position. When they're pinned in their own 10, drive after drive, that accounts to so many 3-and-outs. Lowe getting the start in the quarterback position. Frank Ishmaeli is back in the lineup along with Groves and Wiles. Orlandino back to full health. Goodson, Johnson, Lattimore, and the crew on the offensive line. Play fake. It's going to be a handout to the pass to the right side. Getting a few yards and pushing through, powering through is Bryce Frank, injured earlier in the season, but having a solid run. Looking defensively now, Martinez, Nelson, Campbell going to be helping lead the defensive charge, as well as Clem Schlott and Bonahan on the defensive side. So the test truly to be, can the defensive front of Carroll continue to stop the oft-injured Carthage offensive line? Pushing through Frank, trying to get a few yards. It was a situation last week, for those of you joining us for the first time, of course, thank you for joining us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Halftime last game, 0 offensive rushing yards. It's hard to be successful when you can't win. It's a net 0.
Yeah, it's very difficult to win. And here's what we talked about. 3rd and 5-ish, that's not bad. That's manageable for 3rd down. It's going to keep Carthage in play. You know, you're definitely not behind the sticks. Something that's manageable they can make to keep the chains moving. They're going to need that consistently today.
Not to say it's not even 4-down territory. Trips to the right. There's that quick out pattern. Trying to make a juke back inside. Wiles gets all the way down, and it looks to be 4th and a short one. I don't know if they'll do a measurement, but you have to feel that Carthage can try to, you know, not that I've seen it recently, but the tush push or the brotherly shove, you know, different names they've used for it. But 4th and 1
like
looks
they're
like,
going.
yeah. I like the call. You had a good stop defensively. Now on the offensive side of things, a yard away from moving the sticks. You're already in positive territory. Out of the gun. Frank to the left hip. The play action. Off to Wiles. Can he break a tackle? He cannot. Outstanding defensive play. A.J. Moore out of Wauwatosa West High School, the senior, the local product. A huge stop on 4th and 1.
To me, that makes no sense, Peter. Why are you going to throw the ball all the way out to the sideline? Okay, on the you're less than a yard away.
Yeah.
Don't throw. You're doing a lot. You're doing too much. The offensive coordinator want to be the smartest guy in the room, and unfortunately, it backfired. Why didn't it run up the middle? I have no idea.
Yeah, you know, Carthage, always a shotgun team, but again, that's a situation where I'm sure they'll want that one back. Handoff, Carroll, lots of room, juking left, right, and just like that, the first play, taking it all the way down to the 27-yard line. Massive run by Marcus Johnson.
Marcus Johnson runs off to the left side. Big hole. There's a gaping hole, and all he does is turn on the jets. Safety doesn't get him. He's gone to the house. Great play by Carroll. It seems like they're ready to run the ball down their throat today.
Tanner Ludwig out of Littleton, Colorado. That's another solid play, solid gain on the far side. 2nd and a short, probably 3.5.
This is what we talked about before the game. For Carthage, stay ahead of the sticks. Get 3, 4, 5, 6 yards on the first down up the playbook. Here, Carroll, it was 6 yards on first down. Makes it a lot easier. It's open to use the rest of their playbook.
2 to the right, 1 to the left, running back at the right hip. Also in is the tight end, Reed Breckheimer. He's off the left tackle. Counter to the right, and that's going nowhere. Good job defensively is the powerhouse for the Firebirds, Cristobal Gutierrez Jr.
Great play by Carthage defense. They crashing down. And this running back, they talked about it earlier. The running back, Marcus Johnson, he's going to get more carries. He had an explosive run, but not this time. This time, Carthage was able to stuff him for no gain.
3rd down now in a manageable 5. Trips to the right, 2 to the left, empty backfield. Out of the gun. Looks left. quick hitch pattern, outstanding play call. And that's an easy first down on the pitch and catch. First read was wide open. Carthage, they gave a lot of space, Shawn.
Far too much cushion. It's 3rd and 5, and if your cushion is past 5 yards, and your first move is to backpedal, it's like taking candy from a baby. Carthage's got to do a much better job in those situations of either press coverage or at least getting closer.
They are pressing.
Here they go now.
On the far side, 2 to the right. Standing up, getting the call, back up tight end Trevor Hancock off the left tackle. He stays in the block. Fade pattern, right side, can't get the outstretched hand as Muth. Not happy about it, but again, it was inches away, a hair overthrown.
Good play design. They occupied the corner with the outside receiver in the slot, ran a corner route. Just overshot Carthage, dodged a bullet there. Can they get to the quarterback? This play, well, we're going to find out, but they definitely dodged a bullet on that last play.
2nd and 10. We saw he had time to scan the field, make his way off to the right. 4 wide. Running back Johnson still in the contest. Keeping it himself. Getting a gain for about 2 yards. So 3rd and long now. So Carthage, besides, you have to look what they've done defensively. They stopped Carroll on their first drive. Their second drive, they allowed that one huge run and that hitch for a first down. Right now, 3rd and long. We do know that Carroll has one of the best kickers in Jacob Laurent in the conference. So, as Coach Budaszewski told me yesterday, Shawn, he said if it's into the 20, if it's 25 or in, it's automatic. So, I would not be surprised if they take a shot for the end zone here. They have about 1.5 yards to get a first down without getting the score. Running off to the right, looking in the end zone. Oh my goodness, what a catch and touchdown for the Pios. Number 84, none other than Austin Eichstead, and the Firebirds allow for a third down and long touchdown conversion.
You know, Josh Raby, he got some pressure. He was able to step up, buy some time as he went parallel to the line of scrimmage, and it's a scramble drill. Once you step up and you get out, now you bought time. And as receivers, there's rules when you're in a scramble drill. Once you run your route and you see your quarterback's running, you trail him, and this is what he did. He hit him in the end zone for a touchdown, early score, 7-0 Carroll.
And the extra point is, of course, good as well. 7-0 your score. The Pios lead in the rivalry game. The Civil War musket at stake. Let's take another look. Shawn, talk us through what you see here.
Here, quarterback steps up. He's getting pressure. Gets flushed to the right. Big wide receiver. You know, that's why a lot of teams love those big, tall wide receivers, especially in the red zone. You could toss it up, and even if they're covered, okay, they have a chance to come down with it. Just throw it up. They use their size, and that's exactly what he did on this one. He used his size. It's a nice high throw away from the defender. Caught it for 6.
That was, of course, Eichstead, 6'4", so that is a tall opportunity. Eichstead is the leading receiver for the Pios, 750 receiving yards on the season, so I know he'll be excited and happy to add another score onto that. Let's see what Carthage can do. Not to say Carthage, they've only had the one possession and went for it on 4th down, like you said, a interesting call to say the least on the near side, 4th and a long one. So that's going to be a squib kick, letting it bounce one time, picking up the pieces, trying to move off to the left, and a swarm of Pioneers taking down Earl Jackson, the true freshman. So Firebirds start at about their own 21-yard line.
Yeah, a lot different field position this time than the last time. So now Carthage has to go about 80 yards for a score. Much better. They didn't take advantage of their field position, their first possession. Hopefully they're able to do that this time.
Raby with another touchdown on the season. Quick pass off to the right side, trying to turn it upfield, up the seam, getting about 2 yards. So, you know, that if you're going to call a pass play, and we don't have to keep dwelling on that last 4th down call, but you want to do something quick like that. Move it up, move it out instead of that was almost a behind the line pass. So 2 yards. Let's see, like you said, the third down conversion rate, you said it so eloquently. That's set up on the first and second down. Let's see what they can do here. Second down, 8 yards to go. Shotgun. Orlandino offset to the right, 2 to the left. Frank in the backfield. Lowe looks for the quick slant. Easy pitch and catch to number 18, Westmoreland, the wide receiver out of Chesterton High School, getting his first catch of the afternoon.
That's more of what I'd like to see. You know, give me a slant, stop the bubble screen, stop the. You gain 2 yards on the first play. Now it's 2nd and 8. You get a slant, you're catching the ball, you move the ball. If you miss a tackle, now it's a first down and then some. They're short, but now it's 3rd and 2. Now the play, it's a very manageable 3rd down. Now you have your entire playbook, and this is what you want. Keep the defense on their heels.
3rd down and a long one. Let's see if they do a pass play. They do. It's a quick out. Once again, stop behind the line. No going for number 80, Colin Durian out of Kalamazoo Christian. Again, short yardage play, Shawn, and it's the out pattern.
It's an interesting call. The slot didn't clear out the defensive back. Defensive back saw it, read it the whole way, made a play. I'm not sure why you wouldn't. You got to throw that ball past the sticks. It's short. I know it's 3rd and 2. You think you can get it, but it was a poor job by that slot not getting the poor job or a great job by the defender.
Sure.
Staying home.
Sure. Spoken like a true offensive player. The defense did, they just got lucky. Fourth and a long one, punt coming up ahead for Ankevich. Pios, one of the top blocked kick teams, or teams that have the most blocked
close.
Kicks. Yet again, so it's 2 punts right now, and both almost blocked, so not sure if there's a defensive adjustment or special teams adjustment by the Pios. They come back on offense, their 3rd possession, 7-0 the score, alongside Shawn Sierra and Peter Ferreri on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Shawn, let's talk defensively for Carthage. The first series, they were able to stop the Pios. The second one, 2 big plays, and then the third one, the quarterback, Raby, breaking the pocket, able to get a touchdown. What do they need to do here to stop the Pios once again?
When you get home, when you get there, get penetration, bring him down. I mean, this guy's a big, tall, strong quarterback, and you're going to have to hit him to bring him down, because if he's able to maneuver or he doesn't go down his first hit, he's going to cause a lot of problems.
Push from behind, and luckily the slight shove was able to knock Eistead out of bounds. But my goodness, the quick fire offense of Carroll is something that the secondary of Carthage needs to make an adjustment to.
You know, they're just going one-on-one, all right? They're throwing it out there. He's singled out there by himself. If the DB misses, is a big play, just like we saw. They're going to have to do a much better job of tackling, otherwise this game's going to get out of control early.
Eichstead, that was his 7th touchdown on the season. Handoff to the right side, gaping hole, pushing through, lowering his shoulder, is once again Marcus Johnson. He is 4th on the depth chart, Shawn. We heard he wasn't even listed as a starter, but we got word that he might get some playing time, and nothing like a running back making his presence known.
Let me tell you, when you get that, he's out of Hillcrest, and let me tell you, when you get an opportunity to play, you make the most of it, and he's making the most of it to start this game.
Play action, looking right, on the slant pattern, outstanding catch for the Pioneers. Slow to get up, but my goodness, just Josh Hill, the 6'1" out of Jacobs High School in Algonquin. The reach right now, Shawn, is second to none.
He's running a post route here, and again, we talked about earlier, these tall receivers are getting it done for him, and he's much taller than the DB, threw it up. Josh threw it up for him. He went up and got it, and there's really nothing the DB could do about it.
Marcus Johnson, tip your hat as well, had the play action, but sealed the block in the middle of the field. Shawn, talk me through as a running back, what's it like doing a play action pass, but then you're not going out in a pattern, but you're staying in the block?
Well, you obviously know who your man is. You're in protection if you're not going out. So even though you're
Number 45 with contact. Pass is to the goal. First down.
So even though you know it's a fake, it's play action, you have to keep your eye and notice where your man is, because you don't want to get too deep into the line of scrimmage and your man maybe twists or stunts and your man makes a tackle and gets a sack on the quarterback. It's definitely not what you want to do. So you have to make sure you keep your eye on your responsibility, because that's first and foremost if you're not getting the ball.
Raby now 18 touchdowns on the season, looking for 19. Hands off to Johnson. He tries to cut back to the left, keeps churning the legs, gets down to the half-yard line. So right now, after the high snap, it is 2nd down and a half yard to pay dirt.
You know, Carroll's looking to point to add to their lead here, and this Marcus Johnson, young man, he's very impressive. He's 4th in the depth chart, and he doesn't look like he's the 4th in the depth chart. This guy is running with authority, with power, and is it the tush push?
It was as close enough as we're going to see to it, and that is a touchdown. So Carthage, the bend but don't break. It's not going to their advantage right now, as the Pios already up 13-0 with 3:28 remaining in the first.
Well, they're winning the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a big problem. Carthage can't stop that. You see what they're doing is they're getting quick passes to the side, which is forcing this defensive line to run laterally, and then they're hitting them going straight down at the heart of that defense with some quick hits to Marcus Johnson. And Marcus Johnson's had a couple of big runs, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet, so it could be a long one. They've got to do something to fortify that middle before Carroll has a huge day on the ground.
14-0 your score. Looking at some of the recent scores, I guess you could say, for Carroll. They started out strong, 3-0 on the season, but they've lost 3 out of their last 4, so you don't want to necessarily use the term reeling, but a very close loss to Augustana. But then North Central, and Wheaton both took care of business in a huge way against this Carroll team. They did defeat Elmhurst, though, 62-14 in a very convincing fashion. But coming off a loss, a huge loss, as we see there, just the tush push off the right.
That's so in vogue. A lot of teams are doing it. Philadelphia, they call it the brotherly shove over there. It's legal, and simple way to get to kind of ensure a quarterback sneak's going to get you that yard or get you the touchdown.
I'm often surprised that it's not something that teams haven't done more of earlier, as we have another squib kick. So, we talked about special teams in the pregame. That's one way to not have big returns is say, we'll give you to the 30, 35-yard line, but we know you're not going to take it to the house. So offensively, Carthage is going to line up now as they take over 14-0, 3:23. What does Carthage have to do offensively besides try to get a first down?
What Carthage has to do is what they did earlier. Give me some slants, okay? You really got to get, if you're going to pass, stop going horizontal, get vertical. All right, some quick hitters. Stop running right into the teeth of the defense. Maybe a head-off tackle. But they have to do something because they have decent field position at the 37-yard line, and you don't want to waste it. A start of a drive with good field position.
2 tight ends to the right. It's a counter play, sealing the outside, cutting back upfield. That's a solid 5 yards on first down. Absolutely a nice play. When I saw the 2 tight ends offset to the right, I said it's an interesting formation, but a counter out of the shotgun, very creative play call.
Yeah, and now it's 2nd and 5, so now you can do you have a lot of different options that you have, and Carroll really doesn't know what you can do. If it's 2nd and long, more than likely a pass, but here, this is what we want them to do. Stay ahead of the chains, stay on time, and this drive, they're doing it.
Trips right. Orlandino off to the right as well. A mishandle of the snap, and Lowe loses about 6.5, maybe 7 yards. And there's that dreaded 3rd and long, Shawn. And let's see where the snap went. Oh my goodness, it went right through his hands.
He took his eyes off it. He went to make the handoff, took his eyes off the ball. He went through, and what did I say at the beginning of the game? They have to stop shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
This is if it's tennis, it's an unforced error. This is not the way to go for Carthage. Now they're moving backwards.
Press coverage. Let's see if they take one of those shot plays. They do to the left, keeping the foot in bounds. Is that enough for the first down? It's not, but it is 4th and a long 1. Looks like they're going to go for it.
Carthage is keeping their offense on the field. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. You know what? You're 1-6.
Yeah.
Okay. You have nothing to lose. It tells your team. This is what it tells the team, that I as a head coach am not done fighting for you guys.
Yeah. 4th and a long 1. The past 2 short down conversions haven't been successful. Oh, and it's the punt.
Oh, wow.
So Bryce Lowe takes the punt and not able to be downed in time. So Intriguing play. I saw that once or twice back in our high school days, Shawn.
Yeah, quick kick. It looked as if he was going. They were going for it, but out of the shotgun, he kicked it. Unfortunately, they couldn't. Great try. Great try. The ball kept rolling and rolling. It was just rolling a little too fast. Got in the end zone for a touchback. So Carroll have the ball 1st and 10 at the 20.
So again, with 1:31, and this is something to say defensively for Carthage right now. This is another time they're going to be out on the field. 2 out of the 3 times the Pios have had the ball have resulted, or 2 out of the 4 times, I should say, have resulted in a touchdown. Carthage's defense may get tired quickly, so let's see what happens here now. Shotgun formation, as is their normal. Screen to the left, trying to cut it back inside.
Good pursuit.
Outstanding tackling by Carthage.
That's great pursuit. It seems like once they realized that it was a screen, guys stopped, turned around, and were able to catch the running back. Good job by Carthage. And you know what? This is a great job. We talked about flipping the field. Here's a chance for Carthage. You hold them, you pin them here. Okay, you get a decent punt and a punt return. You have a shot, but you got to hold them here on 2nd down and 2nd and long.
Looking out, quick slant to hitch to the left side. That got him a big 1st down last time with a broken tackle, but Eichstead not able to break it that time, forcing a 3rd down for the Pios.
Yeah, that cushion is still too deep. It's too great. It's too big, and so you know what? I would do that all day long. If they're going to keep giving me 6-7 yards cushion, I'm going to get that hitch every time. It looks like they're walking up on press coverage here. It looks like on the left side, but they still have big cushions on the right side. So we'll see if they take advantage of that on the right side.
Likely the last play of the opening quarter. 3rd down and a long 5. Just over 15 seconds. And we have a whistle. Might have a timeout. Yeah, the play clock was down to 2, and they decided not to go with it. So 14 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter, and a timeout is called. If you're the Pioneers right now, what type of play call are you trying to dial up? Are they, because you never know what Carthage is going to do defensively. They might start pressing. If they leave the cushion, that could be potentially an easy 1st down. But what's the discussion right now?
One, they probably just called the timeout just to avoid the 5 yards. So instead of making it 3rd and 10, you're going to want to stay third and intermediate. I'm looking for a quick slant. I'm looking for an in, something to get the ball. Not necessarily looking for a huge play here. Just get the 1st down, move the chains, because they seem to be having their way with Carthage at this particular point in the first quarter.
The Pioneers haven't taken a long shot yet today. Everything has been, very manageable situation. And here is indeed that press you called, Shawn. So they're forcing the hand of the Pioneers. 4 on the defensive line. Sitting wide. Running back to the left hip. Keeps it himself. Looking deep. Nice job, poked away at the last second. No flag called. Outstanding coverage defensively for number 2, Amari Hill out of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Then see what happens when you press. Now you put a lot of pressure on the receivers. The window was a lot smaller for the quarterback to get it to fit it in there. Great defense by Carthage.
So forcing the punt now. It looks like they have a few more players back in for punt protection. As you see them going up to the line now. That's 2 times it's almost been blocked. So they're going to try to prevent that by any means necessary. 9 seconds left. This should finish out the opening quarter of action. Decent punt. Running up on it. Bounces right into the breadbasket. Off to the left side. Not sure if that was a face mask or not, but just a high wrap tackle. And preventing any damage was number 61, Kevin Whitman. And at the end of 1, Carthage trails 14-0. For Shawn Sierra and Peter Ferreri, we'll be back. 2nd quarter on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
After 1 quarter of play, Carroll 14, Carthage 0.
And welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network for Shawn, Sierra, Peter Ferreri. 14-0 your score, but once again, the Firebirds a yard away from being in the positive side of the field, deciding to hand off, counterplay. Frank breaking through, high tackle, and a beautiful first down run, getting another first down, best run play of the day for the Firebirds.
You know, they start in good field position. Here they're at the 50-yard line, good run, first down. So now you're marching at the 40, you're at the plus 40-yard line. They have to score and cut this lead to 14-7.
1st and 10. 2 to the right, Orlandino, the tight end, offset to the right tackle. Handoff once again for Frank. Bounces it to the outside, cuts back in, lowers his shoulders, and gets another solid 7 yards.
Listen, if you're going to continue to do this, this is going to keep you in the game. All right? I think they finally decided this is going to be their identity or the recipe for the game, and run this ball. All right? You got 7 yards on this one. You're deep in their territory. Keep that Carroll defense out there. Start to wear them down a little bit, and it looks like they're starting to gain some ground, and this could be very, very beneficial moving forward in the third and fourth quarter for Carthage.
Trips right, handoff. Frank, and he gets stopped about a half yard behind the line of scrimmage, maybe moved back a full yard. 3rd and 5, but again, as we've seen so far with this Firebird squad, once they cross the 50, it's 4-down territory.
Yeah, Carroll was ready. They had a couple of runs and like, okay, we need to stop this. They brought a little extra pressure and were able to get a TFL, just a half yard, but still TFL, but still a manageable 3rd and 5 for Carthage.
2 to the right, 1 to the left. Orlandino offset to the tackle. That's a second tight end that comes in. We saw his formation before, and it was the counter. So they run the same play, pushing through, getting about 2 yards. So again, it's that double tight end offset to the right tackle that then come through at the counter. They thought they could go down the well or go draw from the well a second time. 4th and 3, they're going to stay in. Let's see what they're able to draw up here.
4th and 3 from the Pioneer 32-yard line.
Look at the cushion that Carroll's given. Are they going to give them enough cushion where you can pull one of the Carroll's numbers on themselves? Where nope, they're coming up pressing.
Press on the left. There's that quick
Double
out to
screen.
Wiles to the right. Cuts back in, gets the first down, cuts back to the outside at the 20, the 15, and gets to the 10. Wiles single-handedly making that first down happen. It was almost another failed 4th down conversion. He brought it home himself.
You know what? I'll tell you what, Jordan Wiles, what a great play. That was all him. Right, the ball, it was a bubble screen to the right, a quick screen to the right. Looked like he was stopped. He put one heck of a move on the linebackers. They over pursued. He cut back, made another move, left another man in his wake, and got some yards after the catch on that one. 1st and goal now for Carthage.
Shout out to Westmoreland out of Chesterton High School, the wideout, getting one ceiling block that allowed Wiles to make a move back inside. Keeping it himself low. Not often he decides to run it himself, but getting a few yards on the play.
Yeah, great. He had an option on that one. And you saw the end crashed, going after the running back. He pulled it, kept it, gain of a couple of yards. Still 2nd and goal from about the 7.
You see a little bit of a grimace as he goes back to the huddle. Again, nursing an injured lower extremity. So surprising nonetheless. A very close defensive alignment. He pump fakes over the middle, wide open spaces. Touchdown for the Firebirds. Jackson Westmoreland had a key block on the 4th down conversion and comes away. The defensive back slipped. Easy pitch and catch for 6.
Let me tell you, I'm going to give that touchdown to the offensive coordinator. What he did is he set Carroll up beautifully. We've seen a number of those bubble screens ad nauseum early in the 2nd quarter, and what he did was just a fake. Quarterback turned, looked, pumped to the bubble screen, and they bid on it, and the inside receiver slid right into the middle of the field, right to the goalpost, wide open. Great play call by the offensive coordinator. Hats off to him. Great way to set up that play because you needed a touchdown. We talked about them having to score on this drive to cut the lead to 14-7. Great play call in the red zone when you needed it. Look here. Quarterback gives a pump fake, block. Here's the guy who made the block before. Pump fake, and he slides through, gets into the end zone, wide open, pitch and catch. Couldn't be easier.
So missed extra point. So rearing its ugly head once again is Carthage missing an extra point. I don't want to necessarily say it in a negative way, but maybe at some point you just, hey, until we know we can hit those consistently, you know, we saw it in the NFL game Thursday at one point. You know, Tampa Bay went for 2.
Yeah.
You know, because they said, okay, well, we know if we get the 2, we have a chance to win with the next score. You know, maybe at some point Carthage just says, hey, you know, we know we're only down a score, but let's go for 2 and take a similar mindset, just knowing the accuracy issues right now. But nonetheless, 14-6. Kick returner picks it up at the 9-yard line, lowers his shoulder, tries to push through for a little bit. And that'll set up now the Pios offensive attack. So Carthage held on the last possession, forced a punt. Carthage did a great job, drove all the way down the field, got their score. So Pioneers now a little bit back on their heels. Let's see what they can muster up. But again, the biggest change, and you called it, Shawn, Carthage stopped giving 5, 6, 7 yards each and every play in the secondary, forcing the Pioneers to have to call something different, and it worked.
Defense got to step up. Defense needs a big stop here. Get the momentum. Momentum seems to be switching to the side of Carthage. And if they can get a 3-and-out here, force a punt, and get a decent return, get back to the -40 or even to the 50, Carthage is cooking with gas.
Deep post, open. What a pitch and catch. Yes, again, yet again, brushing off the jersey, that post pattern. It has been a thing of beauty for Eichstead.
Eichsted's made a couple of catches. Here you see quarterback with the fake, has time, clean pocket, hits a deep post. Eichstead, just like that. Just like that, Carroll's in Carthage territory.
Good job by Hill to actually secure the tackle. That could have been 6. First down past the 50, 45-yard line. There's the handoff off the right side. Good seal block, cutting it back in, then out. And once again, Marcus Johnson, a huge chunk play on the ground, and within 2 plays, the Pios are already a yard away from the red zone.
All right, Marcus Johnson, we talked about him. We were told about him pre-game, and this kid is really taking advantage of his opportunity, and he's running hard. And they got to stop him. If you don't stop him, you're definitely going to have a long, long day. There's nothing like getting the ball run down your throat, and Carthage is having a tough time dealing with that right now.
Wide open for a touchdown. Once again, Eichstead, my goodness, made a break to the outside, and Carthage could do nothing against that one-on-one coverage. And another score, and the Pioneers answer back in 3 plays.
You can't give Josh Raby all kinds of time. You know, he's back there, and he's able to survey the field, and you can't cover good receivers 5, 6, 7 seconds. He found Eichstead again for a touchdown.
So lining up for the extra point, Jacob Lorette, a local product of Kenosha, went to Indian Trail High School, and one of the best kickers in CCIW history. The senior, chip shot up and good. Makes it look easy, to say the least. So 21-6 your score. So just as you thought, the Firebirds stopped the Pioneers, forced a punt, came back, scored. Once again, as we see this out pattern, my goodness, perfect timing.
No pressure. He's able to stand in the pocket tall. There seemed to be some confusion in the secondary, which allowed Eichstead to get open, and you can't have that. And you know what confusion is? Shooting yourself in the foot yet again, and that seems to be the issue with Carthage. A couple of times they've shot themselves in the foot, and they paid big time for it.
Yeah, it felt they were really favoring that potential post pattern, which has caught him a few times, including earlier in that drive, but it left that, you know, the
post corner.
Yeah, wide open. I mean, he could have walked in if he wanted. So 21-6 your score, 10-10 left in the second. But at least you know now that Carthage can put up points. They've been able to score. It's not this situation where it's 21-0. Can they once again gear up, call the right plays? Like you said, they made the right adjustments that last possession to find themselves in the end zone. So let's see if they keep that creative play calling going.
I was going to wonder if they're going to stop the squib, and that's a smart move by Carroll.
Yeah.
Get them back. All right, the time they scored this last, they had the ball at the 35-40. All right, you start that possession. All right, now you're starting Carthage is starting the ball at the 25-yard line. Much better for Carroll for them to be at the 25 than at the 35 or 45, which they started last time. So Carthage has 75 yards to go, as opposed to 50 or 60 yards.
So lining up now, first down at their 26-yard line, the Firebirds. Orlandino, the tight end, once again offset to the right tackle. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Frank in the backfield along with Lowe. Lowe wearing the long sleeves. Chilly afternoon in Kenosha. Frank rolls around. And on a 45-degree day, Frank gets maybe a yard.
Right now, Carroll's winning the battle of the line at the line of scrimmage, and that's all it is. Short gain on this play. They're going to have to do a better job of controlling and line of scrimmage and see if in order to get this ball moving. It's 2nd and 9 now. I told you, stay ahead of the sticks. It can't be 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8.
Handoff up the middle, and looks like just back to the line of scrimmage. And that's what it's going to be. So 3rd and a long 9 now, as we did see checking into the game briefly for that one play was Harry Wilson Jr., the 3rd-string tight end. So once again now, 3rd and long, been a bit of the Achilles heel for the Firebirds all season.
No gain on the play. It's 3rd
Pioneers playing way off, but trips to the right. Empty backfield. Low, down in the backfield. Huge sack by number 97, Nick Mantis, the defensive lineman out of Glenbrook North. Doesn't allow Lowe to make a single step up, and that's going to be a very quick 3-and-out.
You know, when you get home with 4, the quarterback's on his 3rd step. He's already beaten the tackle.
Yeah.
And you get home with 4, you can drop it. You can drop the other 7. You're sitting pretty, and that's what they're able to do. They got to do something to help this tackle. There's been a couple of plays where there's a little bit too much pressure on the quarterback. Hopefully they make that adjustment before halftime. If not, definitely at halftime.
There's the punt, nice end-over-end punt. And it's a muff punt! And the Firebirds get it, picking up the pieces after Marcus Johnson. So today's starting running back in as a punt returner took his eyes off of it. It slid right through the paws, and on the spot were the Firebirds.
You know, and that's huge. Okay, he's back there. And you can see he took it. You're exactly right. You got good pressure. When your gunners get down there, they're in the face of a returner. You hear those footsteps.
Yeah.
All right. And sometimes you take your eye. You think you have it, but you take your eye off it just for a split second because you want to make a move. You want to make a big play to help your team. And that split second, it can go wrong, and it did for them on that play. So now they have the ball deep, almost at midfield. Here's where they started last time, where they scored.
Yeah.
See if they can do it again.
3 down linemen right now defensively. So adjusting to that spread offense. Let's see if they can get home with 3. Frank in the backfield. Play action. Over the middle. Wiles. Good job on the first down. He has done a stellar job offensively out of the slot so far today.
He hit the slot up right in the middle of the seam, up the seam. Beautiful pitch and catch. First down, move the chains. Now with that play, you're already in Carroll territory. So now you have to continue that momentum.
So bringing back that 4th defensive lineman. Frank in the backfield. Orlandino offset to the right tackle, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. From the 36-yard line, Lowe looks for the slant, finds his receiver.
They're the slants I was talking about earlier. There they are. Good job. And you know what? What I really like? You know what Bryce Lowe did? You saw that play? He shifted the running back from the right side to the left side. Yep. He had the tight end on the wing on the right, so there was an extra guy. He brought that running back to the left side for protection. The running back picked up that end guy on the line of scrimmage, bought him some time, hit the quick slant, first down. Good job on this drive by Carthage.
So we asked the question, can the Firebirds offense rise to the occasion yet again? Looking off to the right, Wiles blown up, and now that truly is a great defensive play
complete to Wiles.
by the defensive back, Miller.
Brought
5'11"
down
junior. He
immediately
just
by
broke
Mueller.
through the tight end Orlandino's tackle or a block and blew that up in the backfield.
Yeah, they've shown this particular play, this bubble screen, multiple times. They had an extra man out here this time as well. But you have to realize the defense, if they see all the guys out there, especially with their propensity to call these bubble screens, they are ready, and they got them stuffed them for a -1.
Empty backfield once again. Calling for Frank. There is the pitch to Frank. He's got a seam and gets a solid 6 yards. Maybe make that 5, but nonetheless, he's been coming in that motion from the right slot position in the backfield. Lowe's been teasing it, delivers there, 3rd and a manageable 5.
This is where they want to be. It's not too
Yeah.
not too far, so you still have a lot of your playbook open. And I'd like to see another slant here. I'd like to see another slant. Looks like they're giving some cushion, all right, in the red zone. I'd like to see a slant by the outside guy.
4 defensive linemen. They're giving Lowe time, and that is a drop. Didn't lead him quite enough. Is Dante Riccardi, the Marion Central Catholic product, not able to reel it in. Not sure if that would have been much of a gain at all. Looked like it was along the line of scrimmage. Again, 4th down territory. You're at the 26-yard line. Kicking has been an issue with extra points and field goals. So absolutely predicted. Trips right. Cushion as well. Looks like there may be a blitz coming. Safety off of Wiles. He looked to the first move. Second, and not able to get it is Westmoreland. He put a hand out. He got him in on it. It was a good combination call, Shawn. You had Wiles do that quick slant. It pulled down the safety and the linebacker. Pass a hair in front of the receiver.
Missed it by that much, and actually was almost picked off.
Yeah.
He let him a little too far. If he would put it on his body to catch 1st and goal, but turnover on downs now for Carthage. And here you're putting defense in a tough spot again. All right, you go for it on 4th down. Luckily, it's only at the 22-yard line, so Carroll still has a long way to go to punch it in. But that defense is going to start wearing down, not just physically, but psychologically is where they're really going to start to feel it.
1st and 10 we go. Pios. Play action. Cuts back in. Doesn't have anybody. Has some blockers in front of him. Keeps it himself. Gets right past the line of scrimmage. Gain of about a yard.
They got pressure.
Yeah.
Carthage got good pressure on that particular play, and that's only with 4. They can continue to get pressure with 4. They're going to have a much better result, much better results as the game goes on. But you got to get home with 4, and you saw him get him off his spot. He ran to the left. He had nothing, had pressure, had to run back to his right, stepped out of bounds with a gain of about 1. All that running for 1 yard.
Huge cushion right now for the Firebirds. There's that pump fake of the swing pattern. Turns it in. Off to the fullback to the right. Make that number 40, actually Trevor Hancock, your swing tight end out of Waterford, Wisconsin, the big man.
Yeah, they threw a screen back the opposite way. They saw that the Carroll, the Carthage defensive line got some pressure, so they let him get pressure again, and they threw back a screen back to the other side. Nice gain, 5 yards.
Raby 133 yards passing, 2 scores. 4 yards gained on the ground. 3rd down and 5. Now, not to jinx it, last week Carthage was snake bit by the penalty bug. Out pattern to the left. Intercepted! But they're going to call likely pass interference. So no pick 6 likely ahead, Isaiah Bird. Mind you, it looked like Josh Hill started to slip out of his break, but nonetheless, Bird kind of just the contact. Oh my goodness, a pick 6 is going to be taken back.
You know, and that's what happens when you're having a rough season. Things tend to go.
Interception during the return. Holding 30 of the return team. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Whoa.
So they're saying after the interception, so that must mean it's Carthage's ball. So let's see what they say.
Correction. Holding. Defense. Number 30. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic. 1st down.
Okay. That makes it's
Yeah.
a lot clearer. They held. I didn't. They're both fighting. and then the wide receiver slipped, and it made a nice easy pick. But it could
It's close.
yeah, it's one of those. It could have gone either way. You could have kept the flag in your pocket. That's what they could have done.
So new life after a pick six taken off the books. Score still sits 21-6. There's the handoff to the right. Johnson looks upfield and taken down right past the line of scrimmage. Good defensive play once again for the Firebirds.
Yeah, they're stout on this particular play. And I was wondering how this defense is going to react. You get a pick six, gets taken off the board, and then now you got to go back out on the field. It could do a number on you psychologically, but you know what? They were strong, they were stout, and they came back out there with gain of 2 on that particular run.
Yeah, that was another look at that. Slightest of holds, but nonetheless, I just had said you don't want the penalty bug to bite the Firebirds, and it does just that. Trips to the left, quick out to the right, easy pitch and catch. I know I sound like a broken record, but again, when you have a 10-yard cushion, it's easy to get an easy out to Eichstätt.
You get a very manageable 3rd and 2, because now you have to watch the double move. Now you have to be very leery of the double move, especially as we're closing in with 3.5 minutes left in the half. He goes out, all of a sudden turns up because you may want to jump the route and try and get another pick six. Carthage has to be very careful in this play.
Raby had his 5th interception of the season taken away.
So they're crowding the line of scrimmage. Carthage is.
There's that press coverage, giving him a little bit of space. Looking left, deep. Over the shoulder catch, poked away at the last minute. Good job defensively by Koen Abreu out of Mililani, Hawaii. The catch happened. He knocked it out at the end.
That was one heck of a play by Cohen. You said it right. The receiver had the ball. He knocked the ball out as soon as. That's good coaching. That's good coaching, and not just good coaching, but good following of the coaching. If the receiver catches the ball, and that happens. Receivers that's what they're there for, to catch the ball. But your play's not over. You can knock the ball out of the receiver's hand. That's just what he did, forcing a 4th down. Great job.
Into punt. High punt. It's on the ground. Taken away. The Firebirds have it. Another special teams error. Noah Streveler. He stands 6'3", so he had to jump over 7 feet and still couldn't get it down. A huge break for Carthage.
Carthage keeps getting help.
Yep.
Okay, one player, way or another. All right, the pick six got taken off the board, no problem. They force a punt. Punt goes over the punter's head. Now they start 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line, going to plus 32. I mean, they have to take advantage of this and get back in the game. It's 21-6 now. They need to put another touchdown on the board, especially under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Can the Firebirds have another successful offensive drive? They got down to the 26th last time. Couldn't convert the 4th down on a post pattern to the 1-yard line to Westmoreland. The prior drive scored. Post pattern, wide open, catch! Oh my goodness, Gibson Groves.
Wow.
Or was that Westmoreland? We'll have to get the number. That indeed was Gibson Groves, who just dropped 6.
Wow.
Brings up 2nd down.
Wow, he had him.
Yeah.
He had him. You got to hold on to it. It's great protection. All right, there's no pressure on the quarterback. A nice post route. Catches it, drops it before he even hits the ground. The ground didn't even cause it. You know what it seems like? It looks like he saw the defender safety coming over the other side and took his eyes off of it.
Hand off to Frank, getting about 2. And those are the shot plays that Carthage has done so successfully all year. The safety, unbeknownst to why, maybe thought it was going to be an in pattern, but the safety was at the goal line. He had his heels on the goal line, ran up, and then Westmoreland just ran right past him. And not to dwell on a prior play, but it is now 3rd and a long 8. Carthage once again in a long down and distance. Can they get a few back to go for it on 4th down? Wiles in the slot, looks over the middle, Low keeping it himself, throws it wide open, cutting back to the outside, and that, not sure if that's enough for a first down. It is not enough for a first down. So Westmoreland actually getting an earful.
Timeout. Carroll.
And so Carroll using now their second timeout to try to stop this 4th down. But one of the assistant coaches for the Firebirds, I can't really see, everybody's in winter gear. He gave Westmoreland an earful because he just didn't turn and go upfield. He tried to get it to the sideline, and he lost yards. Looking at the team stats overall, once again, Shawn, potential of going into halftime with a 0 or below rushing yard total.
Carthage has got to do a much better job at the line of scrimmage. They are making it up in the with passing yards though, and they're doing a good job. And not on that play though, the wide receiver needed to just turn and get the first down.
Yeah.
Right, he tried to double back and get more yardage, and it didn't work. Good pursuit by Carroll, and that's why the assistant coach was in his face, giving him an earful. But you see, it's 4th down and 1. This is, I mean, we kind of figured they were going to go for it in this, and they need to. They need to get another touchdown on the board. There's under 2 minutes to go in the half, and you don't want, the last thing you want to do is give Carroll the ball the opportunity to go up 28-6. You're still in the game now, and you just got to get it closer. You don't want it to get out of hand at the first half.
Do they just pound the ball? Let's see if that's the seal block on the outside. And they did draw him off sides. Great play. Not sure if that's a free play or not.
Yep, free play. They drew him off sides, and they took. That was a smart job by the quarterback. He threw it deep, try to get a cheap 6.
Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Great job by the quarterback. Great job, Bryce Lowe. He's a junior, so he's a wily veteran. That was the plan. Try and draw him off sides, and then you have to take a shot deep, and they did. Touchdown didn't work, but you knew you had the first down, and that's fine. So now it's 1st and 10 on the 17, 18-yard line. You still have plenty of time to get a touchdown and draw and narrow that lead.
They haven't been able to convert on 3rd or 4th and a yard, so why not just force the defense to give you the first down? I appreciate that. Pitch to Frank, looking to cut back inside, taken down a yard past the line of scrimmage, and getting absolutely hyped up is Willie Campbell, local product, 6 foot 230.
Yeah, they've run that play a couple of times. It hasn't been very successful, and they may be careful, be leery. They may have a play off of that, just like they had for their touchdown when the bubble screen. They faked the bubble screen, and the inside receiver who's usually doing the blocking went to the post. Be careful or be leery.
Yeah,
they may have a play off of that.
At least one thing I like about that play for the Firebirds is it's taking time off the clock. It gets that clock running again, so you won't allow the Pioneers much. Frank, there's the slant. Not sure if that was a clean drop, but it looked like at least the hands were in. Number 22, Jake Binkowski.
Yeah, it looked like he got a hand on it. I don't think the tight end realized he was that close. I think he had it, turned his head away, hadn't had it secured, and he came right over the top, knocked it out for an incomplete pass. Because if he catches it, he can skip into the end zone.
3rd and 9. Clock sits at 1:07. Slant over the middle, wide open. Westmoreland juggles it, cuts back in. Does he have enough for the first down? He almost had a drop again, Shawn, which has been an issue for him all game. And I believe they're going to make this mark this 4th down.
It's 4th down, and again, here's what you get a receiver. Here you go. He's coming across the middle. All right, they go empty backfield. Quarterback a nice in route here. All right, he juggles it, and then he goes laterally. He sees the safety coming down as opposed to just diving forward, getting the first down. Okay, he goes lateral, and he stops short.
That's 2 times now Westmoreland has caused his team to have a 4th and 1. Handoff, Frank just powers forward, and that is what you said, Shawn. Being a running back, of course, yourself, in case the listeners at home forgot, just get the yard.
Just get the yard. Make it simple. Move the chains, get the first down. What you're trying to do is you're trying to cut into this lead. All right, you get this one. You maybe now here you go for 2 points.
Yeah.
All right, so now you can get with a touchdown on the 2-point. It'll be 21-14.5. Much easier to go in and come out of halftime only down 7 as opposed to 2 scores.
I want to shout out Matt Johnson, the right guard, doing a stellar job from Lockport Township. Pulled to the left, knocked off that linebacker coming in and allowed Frank to just foul. Now, let me ask you a question. When you were in that situation, knowing I just need a yard, what's the mindset? Are you following that lineman? Are you looking for any sort of daylight, lowering your shoulders and just going?
I'm daylight.
Okay.
I was a daylight kind of guy because I knew I was very strong, and so I knew if I saw daylight, I would literally dive down toward the hips or the knees of defenders to get that yard. Because at that point, there's really no way they would have been able to stop me just because of how low I got.
Out of the gun, using the first time out of the Firebirds. 21 seconds, low, slant to the right, jumping in, and the quick shiftiness of last week's star, Gibson Groves, touchdown, Firebirds.
It was a nice switch route on the goal line for the wide receivers. The outside receiver came behind the inside receiver. He ran something like a corner route, and good hit by the quarterback. Great job. Looks like they're going for 2. Gibson Groves with a nice catch. And he stopped. It was a good throw by the quarterback because he didn't lead him, because that could have led him to get in his head, getting destroyed, or a pick. So good play, a ball placed by the quarterback, Bryce Lowe on that touchdown pass.
Going for 2. And a timeout going to be called. Bryce Lowe did not like the look he saw. Coach gives him a lot of freedom, and you see the accuracy that Lowe has. Again, not the most, nimble-footed, but you don't need to be when you're able to deliver such quick strikes. And a lot of them, if you've noticed, in the second half of the first half, I should say. Let's take another look at that touchdown.
Good block out there. You see the outside receiver coming in. Good. He didn't lead him. And you see number 42. Number 42 is right there, either to knock his block off or for the pick. Good ball placement. He was able to he threw it kind of behind him to stop the receiver for his momentum from moving forward and getting destroyed. He caught it. Receiver dove into the end zone for a touchdown. Great job. Great job by the quarterback not getting his wide receiver killed.
Yeah, the offense for Carthage, these past 3 drives have resulted in 2 touchdowns and then a failed 4th down right outside the red zone. So they have been moving the ball. We said this was going to be a much closer contest than many expected. Lining up for 2. Motion, Wiles. Linebackers shift back. There's the out pattern. Cutting back in, putting his shoulder down. And they are saying that it is no good, stopped at the half-yard line. Good play call. Just not able to get in good, but better stop defensively by Carroll.
Yeah, well, they've seen that play, 8 times already?
Yeah.
So they're definitely aware of it. I'm sure they've seen it plenty of times on film, and they watched it. And this one, this is something I think I'd have a different play call. See, you had motion to the left, and here they come in. And there's one guy.
Yeah.
There's one guy blocking, and there's 3 defenders out there. So when you motion, that's a bad play design. When you motion that running back out to the left side, now you're bringing a defender there. There's 3 guys, 1 blocker, 3 defenders, and that's not not the best play design.
If they had not run it before or something similar, that makes sense. But again, when you had that motion, the linebacker didn't follow all the way to the sideline. They stayed in knowing that it's probably that very play call. So, but nonetheless, 21-12. At this point, don't be surprised if you see Carthage just go for 2 the rest of the way. We'll see what happens here. And Kevich hits off of a blocker. Now, I don't know if that was the intent, but nonetheless, the Pioneers have a timeout in 15 seconds, and they have some ability to go deep. So let's see what happens. There is a flag on the field, though, so might be a... Not quite sure, to be honest with you. It's far side of the field at the 30.
We'll wait and see what the white hat says.
Offside. Offside. Kicking team, number 30. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. First down, Carroll.
All right. Yeah, I don't want to say maybe it was intended, but I'm assuming a squib was called, but didn't think it was going to hit one of the up men and just drop down. But nonetheless, 15 seconds now, and almost at midfield. So and don't forget, the Pioneers have some of the best, has arguably the best kicker in all the CCIW. So this could be very dangerous. Carthage has to
guard the sidelines. and make them use the timeout if they want to. If they get any catch in the middle of the field, it's going to force Carroll to use. See here, the running back leaks out, steps out of bounds there, and there's still 9 seconds. You get one more play. You might have 2 plays left.
Well, here's where you dial up and say, hey, we know we have a timeout. What's a good chunk play that can get us 20 yards? You know, we don't need to score on this. A touchdown, I should say. What can get us in field goal range knowing we have a timeout? So the middle of the field, it looks like.
Looks like they're in a cover 2 shell.
Yep.
And the coach just told them, do not get beat deep.
Yep. There's that hitch. And it's a sack! Outstanding job by the secondary. A coverage sack for Carthage as the clock hits 0. And going into halftime, the Pioneers lead 21-12. We'll have our halftime show in just a few moments, but Shawn, one last look.
You took the words right out of my mouth. A coverage sack, they hit a little stunt up front. We're able to get pressure, bring the quarterback down to end the half. Great job by the secondary, making the quarterback hold on to the ball longer than he wanted. And as I said, they had a stunt up front, got able to get to the quarterback, bring him down, going at halftime. It was, not too far behind. 21-12 is 2 scores. And if they can continue to get the ball close to midfield, they've shown they can do some damage when they're not pinned in their own end. We talked about that at the beginning of the game.
21-12 your score. We'll take a timeout. We will come back after the halftime performance by the Firebird Cheer, Dance, and Palms team right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
And now for your halftime entertainment, please welcome cheer, dance, baton, and flag teams.
Now to round out your halftime entertainment, your Carthage College Pep Band.
Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Your score 21-12. Alongside my broadcast colleague, former Mustang and Holy Cross star, the Superback Shawn Sierra. I'm Peter Ferreri. Shawn, talk me through what's happened in this first half so far. It was really Carroll taking advantage of things early on, but Carthage slowed down the offensive attack, slowed down the big plays of the Pios, and have done a very good job of keeping up with things.
You know, it started with same things what we talked about. We talked about getting pinned in field position. Every time Carthage had the ball 35 or 40 yard line or better, they're able to score.
Yeah.
But when they got pinned deep, they were having some issues. Carthage keeps shooting itself in the foot. There's penalties. There's missed assignments. So they need to clean that up.
Yeah.
And if they do, this is a completely different game. This is a completely different game. And again, we talked about it. It's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
All right. So records are out the window. Okay. Carthage is playing a good game, except for some of the mistakes that they had, and those are the mistakes that they had really hurt them. So if they can knock those mistakes, get rid of those.
Yeah.
This is a definitely a winnable game for Carthage in the second half.
Yeah. Well, and let's not forget they had a touchdown opportunity dropped at the goal line. They had another. I mean, there was more than one opportunity that
Pick six.
Yeah, exactly. Taking it back. Let's look at some of the halftime stats now, as presented by the Firebird Broadcasting Network. And, of course, we talked about, the third down conversion. But right now, individually speaking, Low, a very good 17 for 21, 104. They still got to try to get that running game going, though.
They do, and that's the biggest issue. And you know what? I think they would be better served if they ran downhill. These lateral runs are really not getting the job done, as evidenced by the amount of yards.
Yeah.
Frank has 7 yards, and he's run quite a few times on that jet sweep type. Technically that's a pass.
Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, it's a run. I think they really should consider running downhill and just attacking straight at the defense as opposed to trying to stretch them out, because Carroll's defense is quick.
Yeah.
They're mobile. They're fast, and they're not allowing Carthage any gaps for these running backs to slide in and get big yardage.
Yeah, DeVito, 9 tackles on the day. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, more halftime right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back as we get ready for the second half of action. Alongside Shawn Sierra, I'm Peter Ferreri on the Firebird, broadcasting beautifully from Kenosha, Wisconsin at Art Keller Field. We're excited to be with you this afternoon. The Pioneers started out, you could say, with a much better game plan offensively, but Carthage made the first half adjustments. Again, scored twice, had a third opportunity where maybe if it's a different set of circumstances, they try for a long-range field goal. But nonetheless, this could be a much closer game number-wise than many would have expected. 21-12 your score. Shawn, let's start with the visiting Pioneers. What do they have to do to seal this road victory in the Musket game?
In this rivalry game, what they're going to need to do is what they did earlier. They're going to have to take advantage of the short game, the quick game. Okay, if you recall, one of their big plays was nothing more than a quick hitch, a 2-yard hitch, missed tackle by the defense, and yak afterwards, yards after catch, a good 15 to 20 yards after. They're going to have to continue to do that, and then hit him with a double move later on in the game, and then just keep running the ball. They ran the ball very well with Marcus Johnson. I think he needs more carries if they intend to win this game and win it running away. No pun intended.
Yeah, I was going to say, one thing to keep in mind, too, with how close this game actually is so far, when you look at the, yes, the score, of course, 21-12, the lead for Carroll in terms of first downs is 12-7, but Carthage had a much better second quarter than you can say the Pioneers did, really even things out, so much so that Carthage ended with more possession time in the first half. So we'll be intrigued to see how the second half goes. And we're underway in half number 2. A line shot, able to get on it. Wow, the Firebirds. It was a line drive at Evan Mutterer out of Lamont High School. Bounced off the chest, and it's hard to explain.
Yeah, an onside kick. It doesn't seem like it, but it seemed like something happened in the first half where they kicked it, or maybe a squib, but it just hit one of the front linemen. And this is great news for Carthage. They're in plus territory, and both of their scores came when they were in plus territory. Started the drive in plus territory.
We actually have one of the coaching staff booths right to the left, or to the left of us, I should say, or immediately to the left of us. And maybe is the special teams coach who yells, "You got to be kidding." So it was, you saw the interesting formation that the kickoff team lined up as. And it was probably for that very reason, like, hey, I'm just going to line shot it. If it doesn't make contact with the Firebird, and in that circumstance, as we stated, it was Mutterer. But if it doesn't make contact, okay, then it just turns into a squib and goes to the second level. But nonetheless, 2nd and 5. Wiles motions to the far right. A possible
pressure,
deep pass, and it's going to go past every outstretched hand of 2 defenders, and of course Wiles, who was on that very deep in pattern.
Yeah, he was double covered. Quarterback should have looked down the middle of the field. He had a tight end. It looked like in the middle of the field that could have been a possible option, but thank goodness it wasn't picked.
Yeah.
And now you still have a manageable 3rd and 5. And see what they dial up here.
Well, they go for it on 4th down as long as it's past the 50. So trips to the right. Wiles with that quick out pattern, looking over the middle, trying to find the lane. Beautiful stiff arm. Ishmaeli to the 15, or actually knocked out of bounds at what looks to be the 25-yard line. So Arjun Ishmaeli, missed last week's game, has been such a key component offensively, taking direct snaps, running the Wildcat, being, sometimes taking some throws at the quarterback position, a huge drag pattern.
Yeah, it was a great call. There was nothing on the left side, so it's easy to come from right to left. And Ishmaeli with a beautiful stiff arm, able to get the first down after the yards after the catch.
Handoff up the middle, but absolutely stuffed.
Stonewalled.
Wow, behind the line. Pure excitement, adrenaline running for Timmy Nelson, the Racine Lutheran product.
There's a flag on the play here after the play.
3, there's a penalty marker on the play.
Might be holding on the offense. Let's see where they move this one.
It came after the play, so maybe unsportsmanlike. We'll find out.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 93 on the defense. half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. That's 90 first down conduct for the game.
A huge break for the Firebirds. That's the second on this drive. You get a half distance to the goal penalty on unsportsmanlike conduct. My only thought was, and again, Shawn, you've been in the trenches, there could have been something said because I didn't necessarily see anything happen. But unsportsmanlike doesn't necessarily only have to be a physical activity, so we'll see what happens there. Screen pattern to the left. Huge hurdle down to the 2-yard line. Number 26, Mark Hunter out of Lake Villa, Illinois. They are dialing up all the right calls.
That was a phenomenal call. All right, Carroll started to feel that Carthage is driving. They wanted to put a little pressure on the quarterback. Carthage was waiting for it. As you see here, they had pressure coming off. Beautifully set up screen. Gets it down to the 2-yard line, 1st and goal for Carthage. Great play call.
2 wide receivers to the left, 2 tight ends. Off to the side, low. Looked for the corner. It looked like kind of an out and up pattern by Wiles to no avail. It is now 2nd down at the, we'll say, 2-yard line. Talk to me through what it's like being a running back and getting a screen pass. What does it take to have a successful screen to the running back?
Well, first and foremost, your job number 1 is to catch the ball. So
Okay.
your job, because a lot of times, once you see the defenders coming through,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I realize I'm going to have a good setup.
Yeah.
But I have to catch the ball first. Once you catch the ball, then you get to look, and then you just got to find your way. It's actually very fun.
Low, looks left, looks right, keeps it himself, dives. Did he get in? And they're saying knee is down at the,
Inside the 1.
wow. That is 2 football lengths from the goal line.
I thought he had it, Peter. I thought he had it.
Yeah, my only thought could be when he went for the dive, and we'll see here on the replay, that his left knee was down. I'm shocked he didn't take off earlier. So looked left.
There's nothing.
So close play nonetheless. Shotgun, handoff, counter, trying to lower his shoulder. It's a scrum and getting pushed back. Pios stand tall, forcing a 4th down. And we see a full line change, but I can't imagine they don't go for it. It looks like
Field goal.
they are going to go for the field goal.
See, that was a questionable call there, Peter.
Yeah.
When you counter, you're not getting your momentum. You're not coming downhill. All right, the running back takes a counter step or a jab step away, and on plays like that, you want to come downhill.
And a good conversion. Eli Schubert, the freshman out of Alta Vista, Virginia, the 3rd-string kicker, delivers. Again, the extra point earlier in the game was Ankevich. They bring in and go way down the rabbit hole, but able to successfully bring it back to within 1 score.
What have we talked about? All their scores have come when they started pretty close to the 50 or inside positive territory, and this is no different. So Carthage has got to make sure they flip field position, whether it's on punts. Hopefully no kickoff returns, because that means the Carroll would have scored. So you want to make sure you get some punt returns, start your drives in and around the 50-yard line, and good things happen for Carthage every time they start right around that same area.
So just to note, that is the first successful field goal for the young career of Eli Schubert. So good for him. We talked, not to say we know what we're talking about, but pregame we talked about the special teams and the kicking situation, how it's rinse and repeat easy for the Pioneers and just hasn't been that way for Carthage. So, and I don't want to say, well, it was an easier chip shot situation, but Ankevich comes in for the kickoff, dropped in the end zone. And Pioneers taking their sweet time to down that. But a 6-point game right now. Pioneers, a missed opportunity on the glorified onside kick, a unsportsmanlike conduct, Carthage gets all the way down to the 1-yard line, can't get it in on a run play. And we sit now with the score 21-15, 11-21, and the Pioneers, they're at a point now. They got to show something offensively because it's been all Carthage.
Big stop for the big series for the defense here because Carthage is going to come out. They're going to want a big play. They've had a couple of big plays, and that's led to those scoring drives with them.
Huge hole off to the right tackle. Gain of a solid 8 yards. So once again, Marcus Johnson, who did have the muff punt in the first half, but also has had a stellar running afternoon. Johnson 65 yards in the first half alone, long of 24.
Brought down by Warner, gain of 8 on the play. It's 2nd and 2.
They're going to see if they can. It seems Carroll wants to see if they can get the run game established again with Johnson. And if they do, it's going to open up a lot for Raby later in the second half.
Raby, timing pattern, left side, and that's going to yield 2 flags out on the field.
Raby's pass.
Not opposed to that by Cohen Abreu defensively, but that was a clear pass interference.
It was. He didn't get his head around.
Pass interference. Defense.
You know, it's only 15 yards, but, you know, you got to get your head around.
Yeah.
You got to get your head around. I think that's one of the things that they have to do a better job of because he was even. He was even with the receiver. It wasn't like he was in trail position or he was beat. He was even with him. You got to read the wide receiver's eyes. That's one of the tricks that DBs look at. Wide receivers, when the ball gets closer, your eyes get bigger.
Yeah.
So as you see the eyes get bigger, get your head around, get your hand up, and he just didn't do a good job that time, and it cost him 15.
Looked for the out and up. Left side, huge catch. Not able to get knocked away. Jalik Barnes at the last moment tried to swipe it, but another clutch catch.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't go for the double move.
Yeah.
And he almost pushed him out of bounds before he came down with the ball. So great call. They wanted to test to see the anxious, the anxiety of the aggressiveness, I should say, of the cornerback, and he did his job. He was fundamentally sound, and then he go for the double move.
Handoff, bouncing it outside, getting a lane. Already a first down. Marcus Johnson putting on a show at the running back position, whether it's taking a seam or bouncing it outside in that circumstance. Another solid first down by the Pios.
This kid's got some top-notch speed. You saw he took it to the right from the right. He bounced to the left, all the way to around the corner, got a first down. This kid is having one heck of a game, and they're going to have to do a better job. They got to find out wherever he's at because this guy's he could be the difference of the game with his running.
Potential zero blitz. There it comes. Looks over the middle, and that should not be a penalty. So, yeah, when I saw all 4 secondary players lined up at the 9-yard mark and those linebackers lining up to charge, that's a eyes wide open moment for the running back, I'm sure, knowing that that's coming. Because somebody's going to be unblocked.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to get home. You got to get home, and Carthage has to do it. They run some stunts, but they need to get home. They need to put pressure on Raby. They need to make him uncomfortable.
Raby lines up in the shotgun. Hands off once again. Off the left tackle. Lowering his shoulders. Good job defensively by number 22, Tanner Ludwig at Highlands Ranch High School. Preventing another first down. 3rd and 5 is going to be the down and distance.
You talked about this kid, this young man. Marcus Johnson's having one heck of a game. And you know what? The thing that I liked about him on that particular way, he finished the run. Right? He delivered the blow, and he fell forward, gaining an extra yard.
And a whistle. That might be a false start.
Watch this. Okay.
False start. Offense. Number 8. 5-yard penalty. Remains. 3rd down.
That left defensive end's got to do a much better job. He's very, very, very close to lining up in the neutral zone, and he seems like a wide 9. He's got to make sure his hand is behind that ball.
Out pattern and just at corner post. Once again, touchdown. Number 8, J.R. Muth delivers a huge 3rd down conversion. And the Pios extend their lead.
Yeah, they did the same. They ran the same route concept last time for the touchdown. They held the corner with a hitch route, and the slot ran a corner route, and the DB couldn't stay with him. Hit him, led him to the corner of the end zone, and they scored. This was one of the things that was.
Oh, a mishandle of the snap.
Try. It's no good.
So I think the snap just hit the turf monster, but nonetheless a break for the Firebirds, only allowing 6, but nonetheless we sit 27-15. We know the Pioneers can score. It's just the times they haven't. It has been, a coverage sack on one of the possessions like we spoke about, but in this circumstance, just a beautiful, beautiful call.
Look, Arabi has time. He's got a clean pocket, throws it to the corner of the end zone. We saw this earlier in the game.
Yeah.
They went to the well again, and I would as well, unless you stop it. I would keep going, and I was worried about that, concerned about that after Carthage scored. Like, how are they going to get down there? Are they going to use some of the same plays that they had in the first half that were successful? And the answer to that question, as we just saw, was yes.
Jacob Laurent. Let's see what they do now. Is they've had squibs, they've had onsides. They're lined up in that same bunch formation. Very unique situation for the kickoff team.
You see what they're doing here now, though, at Carthage? They're not lined up. There's nobody directly over the ball.
Good point. "15 yards back. It is a squib once again. Takes the Firebirds bound. Orlandino, the starting tight end, in on coverage and gets it to about the 36-yard line. So we spoke about special teams, and I feel we are ad nauseum, but it bears mentioning that the Pioneers did squibs early, and then they decided to go for just a normal kickoff, and they only got it back to the 19-yard line, and you complimented them on that, but now once again they're going back to the squib or short onside game. So that shows, I guess you could say, a lot of respect for Amari Gilmore, the kick returner.
It does, because you're betting that they can't score because you're scared of the kick returner. So we'll see how it plays out.
Counter out of the shotgun. Getting a few yards. Once again, Bryce Frank. Running game we talked about hasn't been as successful as maybe the Firebirds would have liked. Coach Haas has said time and time again, we got to try to get it going. But you still have to at least make the attempts. You have to at least try.
Yeah, Gibson Grove needed to help his running back out. If he makes that block, you see Frank bounced it out to the left. Had he had a good block from Groves, it could have turned into something.
Low, drops back. He has an opportunity. Back shoulder. Beautiful catch by the freshman running back, Earl Jackson. Low with a beautiful timing pattern on the near sideline.
I love that call. DB had no clue. You saw it was definitely underthrown. It's called, like you said, it's called a back shoulder catch. All right, they go empty backfield. All right, he's got no pressure, able to stand up, step in, throw. 21 stops on a dime, turns around. DB takes a couple steps to gather himself, catches it, steps out of bounds, first down. Carthage. Now they're in plus territory.
Defense makes a full shift. It's a wide receiver slot screen, snuffing it out and making a nice tackle. Braden Bolt out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, the 285-pound horse of a lineman.
Yeah, they're continuing to go back to those screens. Apparently this offensive coordinator likes these screens, and you can do a lot from them, a lot off of them, but they're not as productive as I think he would want. So hopefully he has something coming later in this quarter, in this half, off of that, like we saw in the first half for their first score.
Out of the gun, Orlandino trying to push through, lowering his shoulder. Once again, Earl Jackson getting some reps in the backfield. As discussed, A.J. Motley, the running back out of Memphis, injured in game one. He is suited up but hasn't seen the field since the opening contest. So it's a, you do what you can type of situation. Mark Hunter a little banged up as well at the running back position. So you have 2 running backs getting all the reps. 3rd and 10.
Here's what we talked about, that we wanted, that Carthage needed to stay out of 3rd and long, and here's 3rd and 10.
Quick pass to the left side. They've done that quite often today. Maybe a gain of a yard. And I can't imagine they sent out the punt unit. The only other thing I can think of is they do the quarterback punt.
I mean, the quick kick, yeah. And that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Does Carthage have, does Carroll have anyone back? Just no? No.
Yeah, you don't want to necessarily take a defender away if they do go for it. And yeah, it does look like, again, the quick kick. That's going to go just bounce past the 20-18. That takes a nice generous roll to about the 17-yard line.
Okay, here now you have Carroll backed up inside their own 20. Here's where the defense needs to step up. The defense can step up and force a punt here without a first down. Carroll can get the ball again. We talked about 40, between the 40 and 50, or maybe even plus territory, and it's been a game of field position for Carthage. When they had good field position, they scored. When they don't have good field position, they haven't scored. So defense got to step up, allow them to get good field position, and hopefully get another score on this board in this quarter.
So to note on the trainers table right now, number 76, Ryan Lakin, the starting left tackle for the Firebirds. So something to keep your eye on. He is battled through injury arguably every game of the season. It looks like the ankle tape is going to come out.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have to keep an eye on that, because that's your protection for your quarterback. That's your blindside protection. See if he's able to go back, how well he's able to go back, how much weight he can put on there, and if he can't go back, who's gonna replace him?
Yeah, and the fact that it's currently his left ankle being wrapped, that's kind of your outside plant leg to make that quick turn. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Shotgun formation as always. Out of the backfield, Johnson lowers his shoulder. Gets a gain of about 4, setting up a short 3rd down.
Big play for the defense. Big 3rd down, 3rd and short for this defense. Carthage, they need to get off the field here and get that ball back. Again, momentum seems to be teetering toward Carthage. They need to get it full blown on their side.
Well, coming right out of halftime, the Firebirds had all the momentum. They had what seemed to be a squib kick gone awry where they maintained possession, got to the 1-yard line. But I think Coach Haas probably said to himself, hey, we're within striking distance of this game as a whole. Don't want to go for it on 4th and not necessarily get it. Roll out to the left, throw back over the middle, and a awry pass behind the receiver. Youth.
Good pressure.
Yeah.
Hey, the Carthage defense did their job. 3 and out, got off the field. See what kind of field position they can get. The punt return is going back to about the Carthage 40. Any return, getting it close to the 50 has been, to this point today, has been good for Carthage.
Yeah. One thing I asked Coach Budashevsky as this punts away, let's see if it's returned or fair catch called at the 45, is, I asked him, Coach, give me the overall feel for the team right now. And he said, we have finally hit the point where it's great that our players, that I'm able to play upperclassmen. He said, having guys now that understand the scheme and, more importantly, the work ethic. So talk me through it, Shawn, when you have, in the past, such a young team, and now they're starting to get older, starting to come into their own, and especially know that work ethic.
They set the culture for the team. They set the culture for the program. And when young guys come in now, they see guys who've been here 2 and 3 years in their 4th year, and how they work, how they prepare for the game, and it trickles down. It trickles down, and that's how you build a good program. That's how great programs are built. Is from when youngsters have to play. As they get older, they set the example for everyone else who comes in after them, and then those guys follow suit. So it's good that these guys are in the system. They've been in the system a couple of years, and really started to set a tone, set a culture for this team, for this program.
Yeah, when I asked Coach Budashevsky about his recruiting process, we'll get to more on that in a moment after this play. Out of the gun, to the left. Franco's from left hip to right. Press coverage on the far side, potentially a cover 6. Looking for the slant pattern, wide open. Moving forward, so number 22, Jake Binkowski out of Pulaski,
Lowe's pass
tried
is
to
complete
jump the
Groves
pattern,
for a
Shawn.
gain of 12
It could have been an
yards and a
easy pick
Firebird.
six, but he got a little
First
too
down.
close to the quarterback.
Yeah, he missed it. He just
Yeah.
missed it. And when you know, nothing gambled, nothing gained. And he gambled, and unfortunately for him, he lost on that one, and it gave him the first down.
Got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him.
Looks like they're crowding the line. They bring a little extra pressure.
Oh.
Run blitz. Very nice by Carroll.
Yeah, you called that one immediately. Kind of surprised that Lowe didn't check out of that look. I mean, you had almost the whole front seven within a yard and a half of the line of scrimmage. You had two safeties about 10 yards deep, setting up now a second and a long 14. And like you stated, Shawn, Carthage hasn't necessarily been snake bitten by being behind the sticks, so it's a rarity. So let's see if they can get enough back without going for all of it. Press coverage on the near sideline. Ishmaeli, there's that corner blitz again. Is Ishmaeli able to make the grab? And he does. Arjun Ishmaeli, a highlight reel catch on the near side, not reviewable at the CCIW level, moving the chains.
That was one heck of a throw, one heck of a catch by Ishmaeli, and I didn't think he caught it. What a phenomenal catch by that young man, and moving the sticks. They were able to get out from behind double sticks to a first down. See if they can put it in, if they can finish this drive off with a touchdown.
Trips right, Frank off the right hip. Low on the third, clap of the hands. Hands off up the middle to Frank. He finds a little seam, plows through the 30, down to the 25, and that's going to make you smile, Shawn, just bowling off of defenders for another first down.
It did. It warms my heart to see a running back just pounding off of it, bouncing off of people, finishing, lowering his shoulder pad, his pad level at the end to finish the run for a 15-yard gain and a first down. Man, it's got me a little teary-eyed in here.
I heard a phrase a few weeks ago that I really loved that a coach used to say, and we'll talk about that phrase in just a moment after this play. Rolling out to the right, safe play. Frank down to the 5, down to the 3. Firebirds threatening yet again as they're trying to get within one score. But the phrase I heard that this coach said to his running back, he said, BYOB.
Be your own blocker.
I loved it. Never heard that one before.
Be your own blocker. Yep. And that's where a lot of work in the weight room comes in. That's where back at St. Rita, Coach Angston.
I was just going to say Coach Angston.
He's one of my favorite coach of all time, and he told me as a running back, he said, build your shoulders.
Yeah.
So I made sure to make sure my shoulders were always one of the strongest parts of my body.
That one, fade pattern to Ishmaeli, and that was good coverage. Just both players had their hands on each other's shoulder pads the whole way. I've never seen a teacher throw a chair and break a window as well as Coach Angston.
Coach Angston was my favorite coach.
Yeah.
You know, he was my favorite coach, not because he was a tough son of a gun.
Yeah.
Not because he was mean, because he was honest.
Yes.
And he told you, and
Yes.
you know what, whether you liked it or not, or liked him or not, you had to respect him because he was bluntly honest with you
Correct.
about everything, and I respect the man for that. And you know, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He's still
talked about today.
yeah.
I will never forget, not to share the good times. Senior year, I'd gone through some health stuff. He called me in front of the class because he probably taught PE to you as well. Called me in front and he pointed me out, and he's like, Ferreri, tell everybody what you did. And I just told him what my workout method is, and he said all I told him is he had the potential, took the time in the summer going into senior year to get back into shape, and he goes, everybody could do it. And the core memory, Coach Angston getting the shout out here in Carthage. Left to right. There's the pitch. Turning it upfield. Diving into the end zone. Touchdown, Carthage. They're back to within one score. And the Pios are going to have an answer because Carthage has been moving the ball up and down the field.
Bryce Frank, they ran that same jet sweep, which is technically a pass, as he tosses the ball, and Bryce Frank catches it. They had good blocking on the perimeter, just able to plow his way into the end zone for the touchdown, cutting a 27-21, pending the extra point.
And that will be a converted extra point.
Did you hear the sound of that kick? He kicked that one with authority.
Yes, he did.
The confidence for Carthage right now is through the roof. All right, you see it. Same thing. The same little shovel pass is what it technically is what it's called. So it's a forward pass. He found a crease, barreled in for the end into the end zone for a touchdown. Now Carthage has cut the lead to 27-22. Uncle Mo is completely on the side of Carthage, and they need to take advantage of it. It's finishing the third quarter. We have just about 30 seconds left, and into the fourth quarter. Momentum is clearly on their side.
Well, I also wanted to mention, this is your third string kicker. The guy has not kicked this season and has now banged 2 extra points with authority, as you stated. So give credit to Coach Haas to make that decision. You have such veteran leadership at the kicking position. You know, Sebastian Hosky, your first string kicker, senior. Then you have sophomore and Kevich, who's your power guy, who's coming in for the kickoff. And then you pull out the freshman and say, hey, you're kicking extra points. We missed the first one. We're making the change. So huge return far side, brings it past the 35-yard line. Decent field position for the Pioneers. Again, rivalry game here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network for Shawn, Sierra, Pete Ferreri. 26 seconds remaining in the third. The Firebirds were down, but certainly not out.
No, and I think, again, here's another stop for the defense, another chance for the defense. They need a big series here, 3 and out for the defense. Can't let them score, but Carroll's going to come back, and it looks like they're going to, I assume they're going to come and try and pound the ball or some of the quick game. Cushions are too deep by the corners. We'll see.
Looks to be a zone.
What did we just say?
Wow, that is an easy.
What did we just say? Pitch and catch for a first.
We haven't seen this much of a cushion since the opening drive of the contest.
Yep. So, if they're going to give you 10 yards, I'm taking it every time. I mean, you literally just gave them a first down. You got them on. They're at right around the 32, 33-yard line. Now they're at the 44-yard line. 43-yard line.
So with 2 with 1, they do decide to do one more play, and it's the exact same play, and that's almost 20 yards in 2 plays. At the end of 3, the Pioneers with a slim 5-point lead, 27-22 over the home Firebirds. Don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter action coming your way on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
After 3 quarters of play, Carroll 27, Carthage 22. First and 10, Pioneers from their own 49-yard line.
Shotgun, handoff up the middle, and good safety tackle by number 24, Evan Mutterer, the Lamont product, with a potential touchdown-saving tackle. That's good open field tackling we've seen in the secondary by Carthage. You never want to get it to the third. You never want it to get to the third level, but at least if it does, you're doing something about it.
Yeah, great run. And this kid, Marcus Johnson, is having a phenomenal game as they give him the ball again.
Trying to make it up the middle, maybe about a yard.
Johnson on the carry.
And the good part about that big play is that even though it was a big play and a first down, the previous play, is that they're still not. It wasn't a death blow.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't. They didn't get into the red zone. It wasn't a touchdown. Carthage can still hold them, and maybe hold them to a field goal. Maybe no points at all.
Out of the gun. 2 tight ends left. Let's see if they go for the seam route. Look for it. Keeps it himself. Tries to find it. There is the tight end. Keeps it himself. Huge play, and a flag comes in. Might be a face mask. Not to say I saw it the whole way, but Reed Breckheimer, we talked about him earlier. He's kind of the H-back. Let's see what the call is.
Pass interference. Offense, number 89.
Whoa. Is that why he was so wide open?
I think it is. Oh, my goodness. So that tight end, that H-back, was offset to the left tackle, and he's, your rumbling, bumbling, stumbling type of guy. and you saw him go through the seam route, and then all of a sudden, there's nobody guarding him. And I'm like, wait, where did that linebacker go? And so as we heard, the wide receiver, number 89, Josh Hill, who's had himself a heck of a game, came in and just knocked over. So pick play gone awry, more or less.
And it pushes Carthage back.
Wow.
2nd and 20.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Carroll pushes Carroll back to 2nd and 20. Carthage is in good field position to get this ball back.
Screen off to Johnson to the right. Swarming defense by Carthage.
You know, great coaching there. You know, on plays like that, you know, with the former defensive coordinator, definitely plays like that where you a big play, you got a big play taken away due to a penalty. One of the things, screen and draw. Watch the screen and draw. I'm sure the coach was yelling that down there. They watched for the screen, got it, minimal gain. Still 2nd and may even lost one, 3rd and 19.
Yeah, they did indeed lose a yard. 3rd and eternity. Press coverage near side. 5-yard cushion on the far side. Potentially a cover 6. Looking over the middle. No penalty, and that was number 29, Garrett Warner, the defensive back for Carthage. He had a better chance of catching it than the receiver, Muth.
Yeah, that was a tough throw. I was wondering where the quarterback was looking because the receiver was actually bracketed, so there was no way he was going to fit that in. And luckily for Carroll, it fell incomplete. But the Carthage defense did exactly what they needed to do. They held stout. They were stout and forced a punt.
So arguably the best punt of the afternoon for Streveler, as he's able to get that to Wiles, who downs it at the 10. Couldn't write a better script. You're down 5, but you got the ball. 1st and 10, backed up at your own 10. What does Carthage have to do on this one, Shawn, to potentially take that lead?
Carthage has got to run downhill. All right, they have to run downhill. You know, they showed in the passing game, they showed a back shoulder throw earlier this past quarter, in the 3rd quarter. They've got to do something downhill, attack downhill with the pass. And it's not, if I'm going by this game, starting at the 10-yard line doesn't bode well for Carthage, but, you know, every drive is different.
And that looks like it's going to be a loss of a yard. Stopped in the backfield. Again, Earl Jackson, the true freshman. Also to note, and again, not to put any stock into it, on the sideline, and Kenosha is warming up in the field goal net. Now could just be to keep loose in case called upon, but nonetheless, something we are aware of. Also, Lakin back in at left tackle. So playing through whatever is happening. Sliding catch, that's a catch. Oh, they're saying incomplete. That was close. Orlandino.
And he hit the tight end right up the seam, and he underthrew it. Tight end had to try. It looked like the tight end slipped as he was trying to come back for the ball. Man, that would have been close to a 1st down. So now you got 3rd and double 6 for Carthage. And I'm wondering if Carroll's going to bring some pressure to really force the hand.
It looks like they might be press coverage on the near and far side. Slot corner, about 5 yards off the nickelback.
Here comes the linebacker creeping. Nope, he stays. They have a twist on the left side.
Fade pattern. Wiles.
Should be a flag.
But also,
yeah, you got to turn around. He didn't turn around. He just put his hand out. Maybe as long as he wasn't oh, there is a flag.
Oh, okay, there's a flag in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Oh.
Number 54. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
What did we talk about earlier, Peter? We talked about Carthage not shooting themselves in the foot. Okay, now Carroll is shooting themselves in the foot. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the coach and if I'm the coach, me and the player are gonna have to have a little conversation. That's selfish.
Yeah.
That's just selfish. You kept the drive alive. You had them pinned in. You're about to punt. You forced a punt on them, and then you let them off the hook with a silly roughing the passer call.
That is Steve Lazarus out of Colgate, Wisconsin on the stunt. It's a flea flicker. It's a pass over the middle. Oh, my goodness, and Wiles drops it.
Wow.
And he had wide open
Close
spaces
pass
if he
intended
would
for
have caught that and
Wiles,
turned
falls
upfield.
incomplete.
Nothing but artificial turf
It's
in
second
front of him.
down.
Look, handoff, a flea flicker, back tosses it. He comes across a little high, but he should have caught it. If he comes down with it, he turns up the right sideline, and there was nobody even close.
Those are the type of fun calls that you pull out, knowing that there could be some discombobulation on the defensive side. Quick pass off to the left, trying to cut upfield, able to do so, and there will be a penalty, so not sure
Most
if that's going to be
passes complete to
holding.
Wiles.
A near
There's a
side penalty
marker on the
flag.
play.
I'll be intrigued to see who it's on. I mean, it was literally on the opposite side of the action.
And it came late from the line judge. Play was going to the left, and the right line judge is the one who threw it on the opposite side of the field. So we'll find out.
There's no foul on the play for the ineligible player downfield. The ball was caught in the neutral zone. Third down.
So Coach Haas is pleading with the officials.
Yeah.
Proves good.
Seems like he's a good esquire there,
Yeah.
Coach. If this coaching thing doesn't work out, you got to definitely
line.
as an attorney.
There's that quick pitch again. Trying to cut it outside as Frank lowers his shoulders, and another penalty. That is multiple flags on this drive.
Pass was complete to
One
Frank.
helping
Gain
the
of 2 on the
Firebirds.
play. There
That
is
might be
penalty
a
on the
holding.
play.
Waiting to see who it is. It looks like Carthage is.
Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Remains third down.
So holding called against the Firebirds. So it is now going to be. Let's see what they do.
Correction, the holding penalty is declined. Fourth down.
Okay, I was waiting to see why nobody was moving. So with the declining of the play, still plenty of time left in the fourth for the Firebirds, so it's not as if it's a situation where you have to go for it on fourth, but a rare now punt for Ankevich having to come into the game.
Yeah, I was leery of that particular drive. It started around the 10-yard line, and as we said, every time they got pinned deep, Carthage hasn't been able to get out. It ended up in a punt every single time, and this drive seems no different. So they've got to do a much better job of starting with better field position. They were close.
Sidewinder and Muth calling for the fair catch, setting up the offense for the Pioneers. So for all intents and purposes, a hot start for the Pioneers. Able to get a little bit of action in the second, but Carthage's defense, what we thought were going to be gassed, they just turned to a different gear that I didn't know they had.
Yeah, Uncle Mo. Momentum was on their side, and they started playing with passion and energy and fire. And when you start stopping teams, stopping your opponent, it's contagious. All right, it's someone different is making a play every single down.
Dropping back. Deep pattern to the left side, and why not? Another huge catch for the Pioneers. Back shoulder jumping up for it. And it looks like they're going to say he came down with it.
Gain of 23 yards and a Pioneer first down. First and 10, Carroll at the Carthage 45-yard line.
Great job, great catch. He just jumped over DB. Again, the same problem they had before. The DB's not turning his head, has no idea. Receiver jumped up over him, came down with the play. Beautiful.
Josh Hill at 6'1". They are all height for this Pioneer receiving corps. But swarming defense yet again in the backfield. Huge stop by 98 Jordan Hughes.
Great penetration. All right, great penetration on that. But Marcus Johnson is having a great game. Couldn't get out of the grasp that time for a no gain. Looks like no gain. Great job on the defense. Defense got, even though it was a big play that last pass, still not deep in the Carthage territory.
Out of the gun, 2 left, 1 to the right. Looking for a quick slant. Oh, a bit too far. We talked about it coming into the game, Josh Raby,
Raby's
one of the
pass
most
on the
elite
ice,
quarterbacks
that
in the
ball
CCIW,
incomplete.
but has just been a bit off.
That one's on his
Of late?
receivers. That one was
Oh,
on his
okay.
receiver. He heard footsteps. You saw the slot slot DB there. He took his eye off the ball. He heard footsteps on that one.
So waiting for the play call. Under 20 remaining in the play clock. It's always fun to look at that far sideline and see about 5 different players giving hand motions, you know.
Signals to confuse people.
Looking for another chance. Intercepted. Blocker in front. Reversing
He
field.
should have stayed on the sideline. He should have stayed up. He should have stayed here. He would have had the quarterback to beat. There's a flag on the play. Is it a
Raby's
block?
pass is
Oh, goodness.
intercepted by Bird.
This defense has really answered the bell every single time, Peter.
Carthage takes over first and 10
They're
from
waiting
their
to
own
see who's going to the field.
46-yard
So
line.
the defense for the Pioneers has come out.
Yeah,
Causing
it's
an
supposed.
interception during the return. Unnecessary roughness, personal foul. Number 42 of the return team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Yeah, now Carthage shoots itself in
Yep.
the foot again. These teams are shooting themselves in the foot. Carthage would have had the ball close to midfield, and now they're going back to almost the 30, right around the 30, between 30 31. Miscommunication.
And let's see where that penalty is. Yeah, it wasn't the penalty wasn't in our frame. But like you said, if you would have had an even better return, 15 yards wouldn't have hurt. Still would have hurt, but maybe not as much. But nonetheless, the ball with 9:49, trips to the left, an opportunity to take the lead with a score. Handoff, counter. Franklin still on his feet, not getting much. And it looks like he gets back to the line of scrimmage. But coming into today,
Jackson on the carry.
or excuse me, that was number 21, Earl Jackson. Only 21 attempts on the season
Brought
coming
down
into
by
today.
Rosen.
Yeah, you know what? This counter, this delay run,
Gain on the
slow
play,
run, is
second
not
and
done.
10
Well,
from
it's
the
not
Carthage
gone well for
31-yard
Carthage,
line.
and they need to change. The OC needs to realize that he needs to come downhill, and you got to. And I know that maybe your scheme or something, your bread and butter, but you've got to have that in your repertoire as well. A downhill power type of run attack.
Off his back foot, and that pressure was coming, and Lowe gets rocked in the backfield.
Lowe's pass intended
So that'll be
for
3rd
Rose,
and 10. I
falls
mean,
incomplete.
that was unblocked by
3rd and 10
definition,
from the 31-yard
as he
line.
literally got the snap and had to throw it immediately.
Yeah, the lack of mobility, okay, was a huge problem on that play for Carthage. Lack of mobility by Bryce Lowe. Now third and 10.
You're not going to get many more gimmies. You've had some fumbles, some muff punts, interception. Swings it out to the right side. Frank with a full head of steam, but only getting back to the line of scrimmage. Again, the short
Lowe's pass
plays,
was
hoping to
complete
get
to Frank.
10. I understand the
down by
concept, but, you know, the times they've thrown
Gain of a
past
yard
the
on
sticks,
play,
they've been
brings up
successful.
4th and
Yeah,
9.
that horizontal passing game is not
Yeah.
not one that leads to success
And Kevin Jim
more
in
often
front
than
of
not.
Carthage.
And the time's winding down. There's
Yeah.
8.5 left, and I mean they're going to get the ball back once, maybe twice, but you need to take advantage of these as soon as possible. Try and get that lead.
And Kevich, he actually gets hit on the ankle, and they're waving it off. So they made contact with the.
That at least should have been running into the kicker.
Yeah.
At least. Let's look, and he wasn't pushed. Oh yeah, he was. He was being blocked away. Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's a tough call. He wasn't pushed into the
Yeah.
kicker. He was being blocked,
Yeah.
but he was being pushed away, and he still managed to hit the kicker. At least it
First
could have been a
and 10
5-yard
Pioneers
Yeah.
running
from
into the
their
kicker,
own
not necessarily a
39-yard
15-yarder.
Yeah, like you said, 5-yard, keep it as 4th down, but
All right, the defense has got to step up big again.
Firebirds came away with an interception. Almost another one. Jumping into the passing lane, Isaiah Bird.
Carroll may want
Brady's
maybe
pass
going to the well
intended for
one
Mike
too many
Stepp
times.
was
I'd be
broken
leery
up
of that
by
because
Bird.
because number 30 saw that he read that perfectly. He was literally a half a step
It's second
slow.
down.
If he wasn't that half step slow, that's a house call. It's a pick 6.
8:13 left in the contest.
So here's where you got to worry about the double move.
So it's a handoff. Plowing through for 5 yards once again, Marcus Johnson.
Johnson on the
He's done a
carry.
good job in his own right. Marcus Johnson, just for clarity
Brought down by
purposes,
Steven
coming
Ralph.
into today,
Gain of 6
7
on the play.
rushes for 23 yards.
He's definitely seen more than that. He's got a lot of action today, and you know what? This young man is talented. This young man is tough,
Yeah.
and he's giving the Carthage defense fits. He's finishing runs.
Mikey Coleman, 74 attempts. Nick Legonali, 42. Jackson Case, 53. Raby himself, 38.
To 25 seconds. Thank you.
And for all intents and purposes, we were told Coleman was going to start. So maybe something happened yesterday or in the travel, but there's that quick slant catching right at the face mask. But that's enough for a first down.
Too much of a cushion again.
Yeah.
They're giving too much of a cushion.
Raby's pass
I
was
didn't
completed
check.
to
I was looking
Hill.
at the line of scrimmage.
Gain
I
of
didn't
5
check the
yards
coverage.
to
That means
Carroll,
I'll check.
first down.
I'll check the coverage and see what coverage they're playing. Because even if you're playing a cover 2, you could still,
For equipment.
even if you're playing cover 2, you can still get up and press, okay, and handle your responsibility, get to your zone. But this cushion is really a big detriment. Has been a big detriment to Carthage all game.
Bryce Lowe having a seat on the bench by himself, helmet off. He did get hit quite hard on.
So he
one of those-
cushion, big cushion.
Hand off to the right. Johnson tries to cut it back inside, not able to get anywhere. Back to the line of scrimmage. Clock continues to run. Going to pass the 7-minute mark.
Johnson on the carry.
Again, time
Gain
on the
a yard
side
on
of the
play.
Pioneers, and
Brought
don't
down by
forget
DeVito and Warner.
not to play the what-if scenarios with 6:50 remaining. Carroll has one of the best kicking games in multiple levels, so especially in the Division III level. They get within striking distance. It's still a one-score game, even if you only get 3.
And DeVito on that tackle, we talked about him earlier. He's flying around again today.
Looking left, going deep. Knocked away
Great
at the
job.
last moment. Got to make sure you don't get a penalty for unsportsmanlike. Isaiah Bird doing a bit of chirping, I guess you could say. And actually, you saw Coach Haas tell him, go back to the huddle.
Isaiah Bird, this is his second play on this drive that he's had. This guy's he's locked in this drive. This defense has really turned it up a notch, and this defense is keeping this Carthage team in the game.
A huge 3rd and 9. Can the Firebirds come up with a stop? Here's that press coverage we talked about that's yielded success. Roll out to the left. Nobody there. Sacked in the backfield. Number 29 for the Firebirds, Garrett Warner, the DB, coming up with a huge stop to force the hand of the Pioneers to punt.
Great job by Carroll to move the pocket, buy the quarterback some time. But when you do that, you open up some creases, and they were able to get through. Garrett Warner's able to find a crease, slid in the crease, brought the quarterback down. Now we need a good punt return. Get it back to, if we can get it to the 30 or 35.
Yep.
Carthage is in good, it's sitting pretty.
That's a huge booming punt, letting it go, and it actually touches right at the goal line. Firebirds setting up again with what could very well be their final offensive possession again for Shawn Sierra and Peter Ferreri on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Talking this week with Coach Budashevsky, he said, Shawn, I didn't let him wear red all week. They weren't allowed to say the name of Carthage. He said, this is such an important game. He said, 1963, the musket was donated by a professor, one of the biggest longevity items of any rivalry in college athletics. He said, that means so much to us. He goes, I do not want this to leave my office. Firebirds, 5 points away from tying it up. A touchdown has them take the lead. Bouncing to the outside, staying in bounds, cutting back in to the 40, down to the 44-yard line. Huge run by Earl Jackson answering the call.
You talk about they had perfect seal on the edge. They hooked defensive end. He got around the edge. Great blocking by the wide receivers, and you need good blocks downfield in order to have long runs. Great job by the wide receiver. And who was that? That's number 13. It's Grimson Groves. I had given him a little flack earlier.
Yeah.
A great job on that particular one, springing the running back for a gain of, 20, almost, 20.
Play action. Looking over the middle. Tucks it. Keeps himself. Slides down. Oh, that's a late hit. Once again, I'm not sure if they're going to call the penalty. Once again, 54, Lazarus. He plays that breath after the whistle, as they like to say, because he's the one that got the unnecessary reference earlier, and that was half a step away from being another call.
Yeah, when I was the defensive coordinator, to tell you, played to the echo of the whistle.
Yeah. 2nd and 10. Press coverage. And already a flag right off the whistle, and that might be offsides. I think getting too much of a head start was number 16, Miller.
Looked like it. It looked like it. He showed his hand early.
Yeah.
And he might have crossed the. It looked like he might have crossed the line of scrimmage.
Offside.
Yep.
Defense, number 16. 5 yards play for the previous spot. Remains 2nd down.
Carthage is getting more than enough opportunities to seal this game. They've gotten not only penalties, they've gotten turnovers, they've gotten big plays. Now you need this offense to go and take it in. You know, Bryce Frank, he has to lead this team. They're almost at the 50-yard line. You got 50 yards to go. You're down 5. A touchdown gets you ahead. They have this game in hand. This leader needs to lead.
4:15 in the contest. Handoff up the middle, breaking through to the other side. First down in the cloud of dust. Number 21, Earl Jackson, having himself a day.
Great inside run. Beautiful. This little tunnel. Great blocking by the offensive line. Gain of 12, 14 yards. First down. Keeps the clock moving. Keeps the chains moving. You're driving. You're about to get deep into Carroll territory.
So many of these players having been teammates in high school or played against each other at the high school level. Such importance. Coming off to the right side, still getting a solid 4 yards. So right now, it's the Earl Jackson show, doing everything that he's called upon to do for the Firebirds.
And what I like about this, there's 3.5 left. The clock is running. You're able to put it in a couple of plays. It doesn't give Carroll a lot of time to come back because of the great kicking game that they have. It doesn't give them a lot of time to get into field goal position if Carthage can put it in.
There's the handoff once again, cutting left, moving upfield, a shoestring tackle, saving a first down. Number 22 on the play, Jake Binkowski.
Sets up a critical 3rd and 3. All right, the clock's moving. We're under 3 minutes to go now. Carthage needs this first down to keep the game, to keep their chances of winning this game in this huge rivalry between Carthage and Carroll.
As they said, throw the records out. High effort game, and we have seen it. He said this is everything that a rivalry game should be. Quick out pattern, that's a catch! Shouldering down, Orlandino using the power to get another first down and move the sticks for the Firebirds.
He would not be stopped. This is a great play because it's a quick tight end out. As you see here on the replay, just a quick stick, boom, stick out. Defensive, actually that was pass interference. Didn't matter. He was determined to get that catch. He got the catch. Determined to get that first down. He got the first down, moved the chain. Clock still moving, 2:12 and counting. Carthage has to pick it up a little bit.
Fans starting to get loud. Handoff, counter to the right. Breaking one tackle, 2, 3, almost staying through. There's that counter again.
Jackson on the carry.
Not as much success, maybe a yard, but right now Earl Jackson feeling it, even though it's a gain of a yard.
Yeah, they need to start moving toward the line of scrimmage now. Like these lateral plays, especially if you get caught in bound, are going to be real. They're going to be real detrimental to Carthage at this stage of the game.
There's the play action. Looking over the middle. That's a catch. The 5. Touchdown! Firebirds. Number 28, Jordan Wiles. A huge catch over the middle. on the post pattern, leaving the Pioneers in the dust.
What a great call! But we saw this earlier in the game. They went to the well again. They were fortunate. Beautiful pitch, beautiful catch. Puts Carthage ahead. 28-27, pending the extra point, and a minute and a half left. Again, how many times have I said this defense has got to step up in this drive? This defense has to step up in this drive and stop Carroll from getting into field goal range. They're going for 2.
Pioneers, will they be down 1 or 3? Low, pump fakes, throws it up, jump ball, the catch! Oh my word! Jordan Wiles out-jumped 3 defenders, coming down with the rebound. Number 28 stands 5'10", but stood tall, just throwing his hands up. Oh my goodness, Shawn, what a play.
There's pressure on the quarterback, and you know what? Here's a touchdown. You see just a post pattern, beats his man, touchdown. And then on the extra point, on the 2-point conversion, you know, he literally, you know what all he did? He mossed him. He mossed him. He mossed him, literally. Here's the two-point conversion, a little bit of pressure. You see the quarterback, he kind of flicks it up. He trusts his receiver. There's 2 guys there, and he says, you know what? I got it. Don't worry about it. Just throw it up. I got it. Catches it. And that is huge because now a field goal only ties the game, and now they can't lose on a field goal. So great poise by the quarterback, standing in there with pressure in his face, and a great job, phenomenal job with the reception by Jordan Wiles. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Oh my goodness, Shawn, what a turn of events. It was 27-15, and the Pioneers had the ball. They could have put it away. They allowed just some mistimed passes, some interceptions, and truly it was a field possession second half for the Firebirds. They started at their own 10-yard line. We talked about, that was 1 block away from going all the way. Great field position now for the Pioneers. We saw them earlier in the game, Shawn. They scored on 3 plays. They had a 3-play touchdown scoring drive, so they know they can score fast. Talk to me through defensively, what do the Firebirds have to do?
You've got to be, if you're playing zone, you got to be aware of not who's in your zone, but who can come into your zone. Okay, from the left or the right or from behind you, depending on where you're at. And you got to get pressure. I wouldn't mind seeing them dial up a little pressure, bring in a linebacker. All right, put some pressure. Josh Raby is a great quarterback, but listen, even great quarterbacks don't like pressure in your face. And so let's see what they do. They rush 4.
Near side. Slant pattern, that's a catch, but it only gets about 5. Hill with another catch, having to dive down, so a bit low by Raby. Clock continues to tick.
70 seconds left here.
Brings up 2nd and 5 from midfield.
Trips left. Can the Firebirds prevent a touchdown? Hitch off to the right. Caught. Clock's going to run.
Forward progress was stopped, so the clock's going to run. He did not get the first down. It's 3rd down, 3rd and 1. I mean, obviously it's 2-down territory.
And calling a timeout are the Pioneers. The defensive line is trying to get the fans on their feet, and they are. My goodness, what a game this has turned out to be. Pioneers, as we stated, 27-15. Could have put it out of reach. Carthage, let's not forget, Shawn. And again, we thank you all for being with us this afternoon, all the way through 46 seconds left remaining on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Please reset the game clock to 52 seconds. 5-2.
Okay, so we have a reset of the game clock, some precious moments being put back on the clock. But let's not forget Coach Haas making the decision to go to the true freshman kicker, Eli Schubert, because those 2 extra points, so huge in this circumstance.
They are very, very, very big. Otherwise, it's a 29 or a 28-27 game, and a field goal would win it for Carroll. Those 2 extra points are huge now, and great. Hats off to the coach getting that freshman in there. And as we said earlier, he was kicking with authority. He was waiting for his chance, and he got it. And he's made the most of it so far today.
Touchdown wins. Field goal ties to go to overtime. The battle for the Civil War musket. That's enough for a first down. Gets about 3, but a timeout already used by Carroll. So
stop the clock to move the chains.
Brought down by Levy and
the clock will start once the chains are set.
Dropping back. Looking deep. turning around and dropped at the end. Outstanding play by
Brady's
Bird,
pass
turning his head, because
intended
Shawn,
for
if he didn't
falls
turn that head on a
incomplete.
swivel, that could have been PI.
It really would have. That would have been his second or third one of the day. So he's great job on that particular one. But again, he's locked in. This defense is locked in, and they understand they got to save the day. Offense wins, defense wins championships. Defense wins games a lot of times. This defense has really stepped up against this really good quarterback today in Josh Raby.
Out of the gun, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Tight end stays in to block, looking for the out and up pattern. It ended up in the hands of Jalik Barnes, out of bounds. But my goodness, that was almost an interception.
That was a phenomenal play by the defensive back. Let's take a look at this. He tried the double move. He tried a double move here, out and up. DB didn't bite on it. He turns around. He ran the route. He ran the route for the receiver. All right, and this is good coaching again. This is great coaching. They ran the out and up once before. They ran it a couple times today. This is a play. This is a time where you try and catch someone sleeping, someone's eyes in the backfield, someone trying to make a big play, and you catch them biting. And great job by the DB, great job by the coach, great job by the DB. Now it's 3rd and 10, 30 seconds left. 2 down territory, obviously, for Carroll. Defense has 2 plays, and they can walk out of here with a victory.
Stoppage for an injury. Play getting called in, wide receivers shifting. The brothers Muth, both in the left and right slot. Keeping it himself, running up the middle, not getting enough for the first down. Interesting call, but again, they're just trying to get in the field goal range, so not opposed to that, but 24 seconds, and the second timeout is going to be used by the Pioneers, so interesting call.
Do they go for it, or do they kick the field goal? There's 24 seconds left. We're going to find out. They call the timeout. Who comes out, the QB or the kicking unit? We're going to find out.
It all comes down to this. I hate to use the cliche, but it's truly the circumstance. 4th down, 5 yards. This likely is out of the range. I'd have to see and check the records to see what the long is. Let's see if I can find that. Didn't know I'd necessarily be hunting down the longest kick of the season.
That'd be about a 56-yarder. So
So he has not kicked. He's not made one over 50. 44 is the long.
Okay. And they have 1 timeout left. Okay, they can get the first down.
Yep.
And he still have 24 seconds left. Defense, you know what? Make it easy on yourself. Stop it. Game over.
Trips left. Press coverage.
Here.
Rolling out to the left.
Good pickup by the running back.
Cutting back in. Keeps it himself. Shoestring tackle. So with 16 seconds, that's going to force the Pioneers to use their final timeout. Did he get enough, though? And he didn't. Firebirds stop the visiting Pioneers a yard short of the sticks.
Wow. My hats go off to the defense. And here we go. Great call. You roll the pocket. Great pickup by the running back. You saw the linebacker slide through. Great tackle. Who's the tackle? Of course, Chris DeVito.
In other surprising news, water is wet. The Firebirds come from behind. Kneel down. Ladies and gentlemen, the Carthage Firebirds find their 2nd win of the season and take back the musket, as it will come and stay in Kenosha. As they run and get the musket, you see the celebration. My goodness, Shawn, what a come-from-behind victory for this Carthage squad.
You know, I have to give them a lot of credit. They were down, and it looked, they seemed to shoot themselves in the foot. Something happened. They would do something that would it was a penalty or a miscommunication, and they just couldn't seem to get it on track. But you know what? They were resilient. They stayed focused. They didn't let those early miscommunications or mishaps affect them. They stayed. This is a testament to their will, to their coaching, their training, and they didn't get down. So the leaders of this team kept them in the game, and I'll tell you what, huge wins for Carthage. And I'll tell you what, they're going to enjoy having that musket for the next year at least.
As I stated, one of the 5 remaining fireable weapons for rivalries, a Civil War musket, 1963 to present, and it's coming home to Kenosha. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, the post-game show, stats, news, highlights, and more, as followed then by our post-game interview with, I can't imagine anything less than an elated Coach Haas. We'll find out on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Direct your attention to the scoreboard. It's time to ring the victory bell.
Back here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network alongside Shawn Sierra, Pete Ferreri. Shawn, what an ending to this game. The defense, bend but don't break, stood up so tall, and a 1-yard victory at the very end.
You know what, defense played great. We talked about it. They came up big again and again and again repeatedly today for this Carthage team. And how many times in the broadcast did I say it? This defense has to make a stop. Defense made a stop. They need to make a stop on 4th down. They got the stop. Big time play for the defense. And again, who made the big stop we talked about?
Yeah.
Chris DeVito. The kid, the senior is all over the place. 14 tackles, 7 assisted, 7 unassisted. He was a man among boys today.
Looking at some of the final stats now, Lowe coming away. What a game for Lowe. 30 for 41, 222, 4 touchdowns. Jackson, that final drive for the Firebirds was all Jackson on the ground, 45 yards. He ends up with Wiles, 11 for 96, a touchdown, and the 2-point conversion. And, of course, DeVito. All the stars came to shine today.
Well, you know what they say. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And you know what? The big-time players here at Carthage, they stepped up, and they got the musket back.
Raby, 36 attempts, 24 completions, 252, 3 touchdowns, and a crucial pick. Johnson ran all over, 18 for 118. Eistad, of course, with 2 touchdowns, 121, 16 tackles for Campbell. So all the players that Carroll expected to do well did well, just couldn't finish it up at the end.
No, they couldn't. And you know what, as we talked about earlier in the pregame, actually, you know what? It's a rivalry game. When rivalry games are going on, you throw the records out the window, and that's what they did today. Great effort by Carthage today, coming out with a 30-27 win.
We are now going to be joined live by Isaiah Bird. We did nothing but talk about him the whole 4th quarter. You know, we were also worried that Coach was just going to throw him out of the game because he got a little too excited time after time. But again, alongside Shawn Sierra, Coach Haas, and of course Isaiah Bird, player of the game here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Our kids played really well. They played really hard, and they made plays when it mattered.
Hey, Coach, this defense, all right, they came up big, made a stop on 4th down. They came up big time, again, all game. Talk to me about that defensive effort today.
Yeah, they, like I said, they played hard. They played really well. You know, a big focus for us was just doing our job, and I think that's what you saw is 11 guys doing their job play after play after play. And then when they got the opportunities, making plays. Like this guy's a big reason here. He had a couple PBUs and a huge pick for us.
Talk to me about, you know, you had a great game. Talk to me about what you were seeing, because you had a couple of PBUs. Almost, I thought you had a pick 6 in there as well. I thought you might have had one. What were you seeing, and why were you able to make such great breaks on the ball today?
I was just focused on my technique. I worked on it all summer. I was just putting in the work.
You had a lot of chances, Coach. There was a lot of out-and-ups happening defensively. Is that something you as well, Isaiah, sat back and said, okay, they're not going to get me one more time on it?
You want that shot at me?
No, you're the one that was out there. I wasn't playing.
Nah, Coach Hodge just told me they kept trying to throw the quick game, so I just had to get low, break on the ball.
When you were looking, Coach, at the situation out there, you're down 27-15. They kept doing very interesting things on the kickoff game. It set you up in good field position. You were able to take advantage of it, though. Talk to me through what it was like down 27-15, but able to come back.
Well, I think you saw our offense was moving the ball.
Yeah.
You know, I think they'd moved it all day, and I think our guys had a lot of faith that they were going to continue to do that, and eventually they were going to punch it in and score, and they did that a couple big times in the 4th quarter.
Isaiah, talk me through that final drive. You know that Wiles come away with not only the touch on the huge 2-point conversion. You know you needed to stop. What was the talk in the huddle to get them on that 4th down especially?
Just get that stop, boil your neck up, make a play.
Coach, going into the game, you had 1 win. Huge win to get the musket back. How do you think this is going to propel you for the rest of the season? This is a very emotional win. As we say, a rivalry games, you throw the record out the window. Huge win for you guys, especially the way it ended, stopping them half a yard short. How can this game take you guys for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think anytime you're dealing with young people, you know, whether you're a high school coach, middle school coach, or college coach, you're dealing with confidence and momentum, and anytime you can continue to build that confidence, I think it's huge. You know, we've been kind of the last couple of weeks showing, hey, here's where we're missing here, here's where we're missing there, and if we get 11 guys to do their job, that was kind of the motto all week long, and that will be pretty successful, and I think they could see it happen. And once you see it happen in game, you start keep building that confidence, and eventually you feel like ain't nobody going to stop you.
Well, it was a great game, and there was a lot of sometimes there was some miscommunication early. There was some misreads here and there, and as the game went on, you guys tightened that up. How did they talk to me about the leaders of that defense? How they tightened that up on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think you got 3 senior linebackers that do a great job. You know, they're tied to both ends, right? They're in the run game with the D-line, and they're in the pass game with the DB, so they're well connected, and they do a great job of leading for us, and I think we got some kids that are pretty close off the field as well, which, you know, they'll pick each other up when things don't go their way, and I think you saw that today, and they came together and had this huge stop when it mattered.
Yeah. Isaiah, you know, one of the issues that's been with this team is self-inflicted wounds. So many less penalties today, though. Was able to still play aggressive, play press, really switch things up defensively. Talk me through the confidence that the coaches had in you and your secondary today.
We just went into halftime. They said they just put me on the best guy. Say be me. I just gotta just keep breaking on the ball, stay low. They just told me to get the best guy, take him out the game. That's what I did.
Awesome. Well, Coach Isaiah, congratulations on a huge win today. It's hopefully going to be a lot of momentum going into the rest of the season.
All right, thanks, guys.
Great
All right,
job,
thank
Coach.
you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Alongside player of the game, Isaiah Bird, Coach Haas, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, wrapping things up here, huge win 30-27 on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird postgame show here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. For Shawn Sierra, I'm Peter Ferreri. Shawn, we just had a few words with Coach before he went off to talk to the team one more time. The confidence is just oozing off of the squad right now. I mean, to come from behind, it's you know that feeling. You've been in there. You've come from behind plenty of times in your career. There's nothing like it.
No, there isn't. You know, because this is times like this is where you revert back to springtime, all right? Your spring ball, all those morning workouts that you didn't want to do in training camp, all those tough practices you didn't want to do, the running, the sweating. Some guys wanted to quit, and you focus and you lean on each other. This is why I think football is the best the game, because of the interdependence. One guy can't win it, all 11 have to win it.
Yeah.
All 11 have to believe, and you know what? All 11 on defense believed, all 11 on offense believed.
Yeah.
And when they were down, they looked adversity, led by the seniors, as Coach talked about, the senior defensive players, especially Chris DeVito, and they went to work. They went to work. They chopped it one play at a time, one drive at a time, one stop at a time, and this defense, and they didn't flinch, and they were able to come back and make some key plays on offense.
Sure.
And able to come back and get the win.
Yeah, we talked about, just that final drive. Wiles with the touchdown catch, the 2-point conversion. We discussed it with Bird. That's got to fire you up so much defensively to say, okay, they just did everything they had to do. One more time, we got to do our job.
Yeah, you're right. The confidence that gave the defense, and that's exactly what was said.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation many times, and defensive players like, look, they did their job. We got to do ours. And you know what? It's great when you get to kneel down, but a defense wants to close it out. A defense wants to end the game. Defenses like to be on the field of the final play. Like, we ended it, it's over. I know it was a kneel victory formation for us here today. However, the defense did the job of stopping them. And, man, I'll tell you what, this momentum could take them could take them on to the rest of the season. And hopefully it does, because this was a big win.
Yeah. All right, well, Shawn, been an absolute pleasure, my friend. On behalf of Shawn Sierra, I'm Peter Ferreri. 30-27, your final. For executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, as well as the rest of the staff and crew, Allison, Emma, Sophia, Mark, Matt, and Laura. This has been a presentation of the Firebird Broadcast Production and Carthage College, copyright 2023. Your final once again, Firebirds 30, Pioneers 27. The Musket comes back to Kenosha. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.